大合体。勇者 X カイザー最強のロボキング X カイザー。勇者 X カイザー。新幹線がブルーレイカーとグリーンレイカーに。これが驚異の左右合体だ。ウルトラレイカー登場。ゴッドマックスもすごいぞ。勇者 X カイザーマックスチーム登場。スカイマックス、ダッシュマックス、ドリルマックス、迫力の3体合体。戦えゴッドマックス。ウルトラレイカーもすごいぞ。勇者 X カイザー。ドラゴンカイザー登場。キング X カイザーと超巨大合体グレート X カイザー。フルパワーで攻撃だ。超巨大合体グレート X カイザー。三段変形ダイノガイストもすごいぞ。
緊急指令ギャレオンガイガーに変形だ。行くぞファイナルフュージョン承認。ドリルガオライナーガオステルスガオ合体だ。見ろディバイディングドライバー。超人合体ガオガイガー。行くぞ。今ならこのディバイディングドライバーがついてるぞ。
の平和は任せろ。左右合体潮流人。
ボルホックガンドーベルガングルー合体せよ。腕を上げろ音を出せ。激音合体ビッグボルホック。キャンペーン実施中。ハローミーはマイク・サウンダス13世。レッツゴーマイク。オッケーシステムチェンジ。サウンドスタート。一緒に戦おう。サウンドロボマイク&バリバリ
見ろ超巨大ロボキング・ジェイダー。宇宙戦艦 J アクに変形だ。宇宙に敵なし超ド級合体キング・ジェイダー。
よみがえる熱血伝説マグナティラノからマグナザウラーへ。そしてマグナバスターザウラージェット大ザウラーと合体。トミー熱血武装マグナザウラー。復活最強の戦士。恐竜ロボからジェットへ。そしてグランザウラーへ熱血進化。大ザウラーマグナザウラーグランザウラー。3つの熱血が時空を超え今一つに。トミー超熱血合体キングゴーザウラー。
発進。鳳凰竜王剣王雷神王に無敵合体。ジャース帝国から地球を守るのだ。無敵合体雷神王。トミーから雷神ソードもよろしく。伝説は今始まる。ドラゴンからロボへ。無敵変形爆竜王雷神王と超無敵合体。完成ゴッド雷神王。限界を超えた超無敵ロボトミー
ラリオス、ガンパー、アトラウス登場。21世紀のメカミライオン、巨大ロボに完全合体。今衝撃の合体革命、クロスイン。未来ロボダルタニアス完成。未来合体デラックス超合金ダルタニアス、ポピーより発売中。
今こそ復活、5体の守護獣たち、見よこの勇姿。シーゾン。守護獣たちの進化は続く。いでよドラゴンシーゾン。究極を極めた進め重騎士。
小さな体に力を秘めた強い重い精密なメカ、これが噂の超合金。マジンガー Z ポピーより新発売。
ゲッターロボ G ドラゴン、ライガー、ポセイドン。戦闘準備完了。人類の敵百鬼帝国を攻撃せよ。ライガーミサイル、トマホーク、ブーメラン、ストロングミサイル。ジャンボマシンダーゲッターロボ G ドラゴン、ライガー、ポセイドン、ポピーより新発売。
チェンジゲッターゴー。あの迫力を君の手に。デラックスゲッターロボ GO 豊かより。ゲッター GO 合体。チェンジゲッター迫力を君の手に。戦え僕らのヒーロー。デラックスゲッターロボ GO、 そしてゲッターショー、ゲッターガイ豊かより。
ダンボスコンビネーション、ダンボスゴー、ダンボスゴー、ダンボスゴー、チェンジ。
宇宙の侵略者を迎え撃つためにコンビネーションロボザンボット3、ここに誕生。3つのメカが1つになってザンボット3。
エースフォロー、アンパンチ、エースミサイル。
ザンボット3コンビネーションジュニアクローバーから発売中。
今日も戦い続けるザンボット3、今クローバーから。宇宙要塞ソロモンからテキサス、そして光る空へ。恐怖のモビルアーマービッグザム、赤い彗星シャア専用ザク。ニュータイプの運命は RX78 ガンダム、無敵のメカニズム。パーフェクトコレクション機動戦士ガンダム、バンダイのプラモデル。 赤獅子、そして3代の獅子たちよ。今眠りから覚める5代の未来獣、ロボットメカの限界に挑戦。全く新しい奇跡の超合体システム、ついに完成。未来獣合体5ライオン、未来に挑戦するポピーより絶賛発売中。
Reactor engaged. Traction locked. All go.
Hello, hello. I hope everybody's doing well. And no, I did not, in fact, start muted this time. So, first of all, before we get into the housekeeping, of course, as I'm sure you're all biting for that, thank you to... Let's see, gotta scroll up a bit. No, it scrolled way too far. I have to go back. Give me a second here. Yeah, it's Gidgy. I know, Mama. I know. But I can't let you in. There's stuff all over the place and you'll hurt yourself. Thank you to Generic Gray Fish for $10. You should check out Fury Toys. They seem pretty good. Well, let me double check something. Fury Toys. I think I actually might have one. I just want to double check that's the right brand. Yes, actually, I have their Master Wing. I have the Tiger, and at some point I want to review it because people keep saying it's Japanese and it's obviously Chinese, which confuses me. But also thank you to Dearest Lulu for $5. Bro managed to run into someone who's worse than Database Productions. I'm effing crying. Well, I'm not really sure about that one. And thank you to Levy Ackerman for becoming a channel member. So, what do we have for housekeeping? Well, a few things. I still have yet to do certain videos on individuals because I've just been, you know, busy. Thank you, Raccoon Fangirl, for the $5. I made you into a me, Lio. Did you see? Yes, I did. It looks good. But right now, I'm just trying to power through Mecha May. I still have things I need to get done. Did you pre-order that Samurai Leonardo figure? Yes, I did, actually. Do you need these towels, Lio? Why would I need towels? Anywho. There is a lot left to do. A lot on my plate still, but we need to get through the month first. But let's go ahead and address some other things here. So, as some of you may have seen on the channel, I did a little YouTube short about my thoughts on what's going on with the Goosework stuff, fandom nonsense currently ongoing. Cartoons character for $5. I have to ask, why is it always Dandy's World fans who are insane? Like, how does a game like that attract a crazy person? I don't know what Dandy's World is. So, I don't know the correlation there. But I addressed it, and I essentially said that the way people are acting is insane. Now, I want to make this very clear. I want to make this very, very clear. With the stuff involving that one voice actor, Michael something, or I don't know his name because I'm 40. If you are black and you do not like, are upset by, or offended by the borderline racial jokes he made 7 years ago, that's fine. You are allowed to be. My point of contention is when you go from just offense to harassment, threats, and doxing because someone said a stupid, edgy joke 7 years ago. The correct response to that should be to bully them or to just call them cringe, not, I'm going to dox you because you don't meet up to my moral values. And here's the thing. This is never from somebody my age, right? Or even somebody in their mid-30s. This is always teenagers and 20-somethings that were raised on the internet, have no real-world experience, and expect everybody to meet a higher bar on what they consider to be correct and moral than they really can be. They don't expect anybody to have a past. They don't expect anybody to make mistakes. Unless it's them, then it's fine, right? Michael Kovac, I guess that's his name. I know so little about this because I don't care. I can't be bothered to care. So I put out some tweets about it, and I've gotten a little bit of heat, but mostly support. And I've been told multiple times, that this means because I criticize, and number one, I'm not allowed to, apparently. I guess being Hispanic means I can't comment on these things, which, by the way, is another form of segregation, and gay. But apparently, that means I hate black people because I'm critical. If you actually have that take, get a job, get a life, get out of my face. It is gay. All right? It's just the dumbest take you can have. And I've met people that lived through the civil rights era. And if you stick any of these Twitter slacktivists, if you were to take them back in time, they'd probably just explode the minute they're dealt with a genuinely hateful person from that era, or the dogs, or the fire hoses. They wouldn't know what to do. They're used to just typing away at their computer thinking they are faultless. And to make it to a point, all right, these cartoon Twitter dorks expect a higher level of morality than Christ does. It's ridiculous. Thank you, Evan Flutterlover, for the $10. Tell Gidget I say hi. Gidget, Evan Flutterlover says hi. Maybe you get a hi back later. So, yeah, there's that. And I also found out there's this new cartoon called Gameoverse, which, if you don't like it, you don't like it. Have whatever criticisms you have. I clearly need to interact more with cartoon Twitter and just start smacking people. I'll look at Spider Noir at some point, Vlad, don't worry. And they're complaining that the female designs in a beach episode, because they're in swimsuits, is, and I quote, gooner bait. Now, I want to be very clear. I've read the Jim Ballant line of Catwoman comics. All right, you want to talk about gooner bait? You can go look at that. Just basic swimsuits on traditionally attractive, thicker women is not inherently gooner bait, and whoever thinks so is so severely sexually repressed. And I'll never understand it. How are you on the internet, like, living on it 24/7, and you are more sexually repressed and more of a prude than the Bible thumper? Try to make sense of that for me, because you can't even say it's because of my theological inclination. To them, it's just, well, bad because attractive women bad, I guess. It's just the dumbest thing in the world. Thank you, Starbird, for the $5. Sir, let me tell you about Homestuck buckets and the Sharpie bath, or the Yowie paddles and the Pedo Bear. I lived through some of that. Dean Draxon for the $5. Thank you. Someone had a bad take or made an heavy joke 7+ years ago, and now they're evil forever, according to Twitter. Yes. So, real quick before we get into the main topic here. Many years ago, this had to be like, 15, 16 years ago, when I went to Onicon. One of the first times I went there was a woman who cosplayed as Eevee. Now, her way of doing it was, of course, to wear like a swimsuit and to turn her body blue. Now, when you are doing that form of makeup, there's several ways you can do it. You can get a morph suit and fill in the gaps. You can get a whole bunch of makeup, because there's like theater level, professional level makeup that you can do for your body. Did she do that? No. So what she did was she took blue food coloring and mixed it with sunscreen and then coated her body with it and went to the con like that. Now, that's a problem in and of itself, right? That's a problem in and of itself. The bigger issue was, at this point at Onicon, there was furniture sitting out, right? Where if you wanted to just relax for a minute, you could sit down, talk to your friends. Yeah, she did that. She sat in some furniture, horrifically ruined it. So from every Onicon on, they have never put out furniture ever again, because this one person didn't have any sense. So trust me, I'm aware of shenanigans like that. Cartoon character for $2. Also, Dandy's World is a Roblox Kids game, by the way, Lyle. Well, thanks for the information. Raccoon Fangirl, $5. Have they watched anime? Have they read the comics? Shake my head. They do watch anime, but I guess that's under a different playing field for whatever stupid reason. It's just... See, Starbird, you say seal your paint. It wasn't even paint! It was sunscreen! And there's somebody just randomly tagging me. Why tag me? Okay, then. Alright, so who are we talking about today? Well, little jaunt. So, within commentary and within internet creative spheres, right, you have overarching commentary. You have people like Turkey Tom, Nicholas Diorio, anybody else you get interchanged for them at any given time, because God forbid you have a personality. Then you have the streamer bros like Beckett, Chris. Then you have just, I commentate on whatever I want people like Vlad in the chat. Then you have people who are more ACC related, like me or Thuman. Then you have, on a lower subset, you have people like the animation meme community. And what do? Well, the name's kind of on the tin, right? They do animation for memes and whatnot. So they'll take a piece of audio, whatever, do their character over it. I've done it a couple times too, you know? In and of itself, that's fine. But the problem is, because of the community that's built there, there's a lot of sexual conversation that happens there. There's a lot of adults mingling with children the way they shouldn't. And they teach each other a whole bunch of horrific things, right? And this is where people like Birdie and Cupidite and today's topic, Chaotix, comes from. Now, what can I tell you about Chaotix? Well, Blinky Ira, thank you for $5. Hope you're having a good week. We'll see. Was vastly enjoying Mecha May. Always fun content. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. So, here's the thing where I have to genuinely be a little bit disturbed here. And I don't just mean in the nature of what this individual has done, right? Not just that. Lost in the Woods in the World's 15, about $80 worth of body paint to cosplay as Amethyst. If you can pay for proper stuff, it's fine being minimal or just not doing it. True. So here's the thing, right? Chaotix is 18, turning 19 this year. And when you're dunking on like a 20-something, 30, 40, whatever, for being a freak, a weirdo, whatever, you get more catharsis. Why? Because this is somebody who, by all means, should know better than some of the deranged things they're doing, right? But there is, even though I won't deny some catharsis in taking down a genuinely awful person one way or another, and trying to make sure they don't hurt other people, which should be the focus, there's also this edge of sadness that this person, and some others I've dealt with before too, have just become adults and have already essentially ruined their lives. And Chaotix is one of these people. And the reason Chaotix is one of these people is completely and utterly self-made. Chaotix has been around long enough to know what these spaces are like and has decided to attract the worst of possible things. So what is the TLDR here? Well, we're going to go through some videos, but the TLDR is Chaotix at one point when when he was freaking 12 or 13, dated somebody by the name of Clay Plexer. Is Clay Plexer some 20-year-old miscreant? No, he was the same freaking age, right? Now, in middle school, Chaotix decided to start claiming that Clay raped them. Now, when you say something that egregious, rape is a very specific thing, and without question, each and every time, whether it be by object, by phallus, whatever, it has to have some form of penetration, right? Has to have some form of penetration. At no point has Chaotix ever claimed that happened, but still wants to call it as rape. So the problem I'm having here, looking at Chaotix's stuff, is this is a person that is dumb, yes, but they're also conniving and malicious. What do I mean by that? They know enough to research therapy speak to justify their insanity to other people, and they know enough about how the community as a whole responds to such negative claims that they know how to levy it to get attention. And make no mistake, I do not think for a moment that they're just so unspeakably unwell that they just don't realize what they're doing. The sad thing is, I think they know exactly what they're doing. I think that this is calculated. Now, why target Clay specifically? I don't know. Maybe there is some, like, deeper-seated reason that they're doing this. But personally, I think it mostly comes down to the fact that they have learned, unfortunately, by watching certain people, that victimhood is a currency to be used. And once you have that guaranteed to you, people allow you to do things they realistically shouldn't. Especially when it's a younger audience that's really easy to sucker. Because here's the thing. What we're covering today, when Chaotix is pressed in their server about it, it stops becoming about their actions and more about the fact that I'm covering it. Well, LioConvoy is a bad person. LioConvoy yelled at a person in a call 3 years ago. Don't you know he's a bad person? Meanwhile, Chaotix here, going to give you guys a real quick spoiler, was trying to get this person, Clay Plexer, killed. And I don't mean, like, sending them a spoiled piece of meat, like, thought they were contacting a hitman on Discord to kill them. By the way, just so you know, Abyssal Grave. This is on Internet Archive. There is no dark mode for it, to my knowledge. So this started, and I want to be clear, this video, they released when they were 14 or 15. This started when they were in middle school. Do you know what I was worried about in middle school? Whether or not I was going to wake up in time to watch Beast Wars. Whether or not I'd be able to grab the newest figure. I was never sitting there thinking, I need to make a video on somebody. This is, granted, it didn't exist. But either way, I can't imagine being that age and this being what I'm into. That's got to do something to your brain. But we're going to start by looking at this video, their very first one, and then the follow-up. And we're going to try to go through this as much as we can. I can't promise we're going to get through everything tonight because holy crap, there's a lot. But we're going to see the inconsistencies. Because here is the thing. When you go through something horrific, while there might be added detail you remember later on, the gist of the story, however you want to pronounce it, should not ever change. And the neat thing about the truth is it's easier to remember because it's just what happened. You don't have to worry about what you fabricated. So, let's start with this Lisa Frank abomination.
Hello, my little beans.
Little beans. Little beans are inferior to you guys, my Lio Boo-Boos.
Sorry if my voice may sound weird. I have a sore throat right now. So,
if they send a hitman to me, let them come. I have been waiting for this moment. The milk truck couldn't kill me. You think a Discord assassin could?
Pretty sure all of you know that I've been with Clay for a long time now. I've dated him for almost 3 years now. But I want people to know the truth about him and his actions. I bottled it up for so long to the point where I just couldn't be silenced anymore. Before I start to say anything, please be aware that this video will contain certain triggers, so if you are triggered by anything that I listed here, please get off of this video. With that out of the way, I will now be exposing Clay, who is now my ex. So, starting right off the bat, I'll just say everything that Clay has done. He's abused me, attempted to rape me, manipulated me multiple times, sexually assaulted me, and has forced me to take nudes. I will now explain these things in detail. One time when me and Clay were at my house...
Okay, so they're just reading... This is so dumb. Why are you putting a screen cap here about something you're literally just saying? This is dumb. This is dumb.
He was pretending to hit me and actually hit me in the eye. He then tried to pass it off as an accident. He's also punched me in the face, held me in
Okay, that could be an accident, though.
a chokehold in the hallway at school, and holds a tight grip on my hand to purposely hurt me. He's done all these things while knowing damn well that I'm sensitive, but he kept on doing it either way.
See, the thing is, claims like this, number one, can't be really, proven this far along, but also, it very well could just be somebody not recognizing how delicate another person is. It's not inherently abuse. Doing it intentionally and trying to hurt them and then following through, that is abuse. Mac and cheese for $5? Holy crap, that is a baby. Yes, it is.
He's now the reason why I flinch very easily. This next one is going to be really hard to say out loud, but I'll try my best. So, back in 8th grade, me and Clay would get to the school early to talk to each other in the mornings and spend time to each other. I guess this one time he felt really horny and literally bent me over. He never asked for my consent or anything, so I was telling him to stop repeatedly and saying that I was serious about it. He literally ended up dry humping me while I was telling him to stop. He never listened. So, just in general, Clay has manipulated me many times in the past.
Okay, let's see here. Now, keep in mind, the claim. He bent me over and pushed me against a pillar, right? So, here they say, I'm going to stop. Clay says, I think I should still take legal action. No, just don't. It's over. Well, people think I'm a terrible person now. Fix this now or I'll be taking legal action. Why did they say this? Why did Clay say this? Because Chaos ran around saying Clay was a rapist. Keep in mind, these are children fighting. Agamonti won for $5. You talk about Goonerbait. Vampirella is Goonerbait. Her design is something. Well, it is, but not my type of thing. Why isn't any of this registering for the goal? The heck? Huh. I'll have to keep track myself.
Me many times in the past. It was mostly because he would beg for things, and if I...
Hold on. I'm gonna read these and then go back. All right, so we're at 2:14. Just get away from me. I just remember how happy we've been. I know you'll miss seeing me in school. No, I won't. I went shopping and bought you gifts. 3. I hate you. You ruined everything. So will you finish it? I'll work up... Wait, hold on. Why don't these have dates on them? Because now... Okay, that's 10/20/2022. And this is 10/10/2022. What? Okay, is there any other screen caps here? Okay, we'll get into that when we get into that. I know we chased Vlad off by accident, but whatever. All right.
It was mostly because he would beg for things, and if I said no, he'd threaten me and manipulate me into doing things for him.
Now, we just read through all that. None of that demonstrated anything Chaotix just said. At all. Not only are we not seeing the full chat logs, but nothing. They said, well, pushing me, manipulating me to get things, and none of that had anything to do with that. That was Clay saying, hey, stop calling me a rapist. I might just push it for legal trouble, which is fair. Disturb for $5 for the trauma. Thank you.
Me sexually without consent. Every time I would tell him to stop, he would just keep going. I feel like he views me as nothing more than a sexual toy. I think this next part also plays a big role.
I am not reading this out, because these are kids, but this sounds like just flirting. Clay makes a request. They go, wah! Clay calls him a meanie beanie. Sad face, bye, sad face. Yeah, sad face, I sad. I'll leave you alone to make you happy. And this is on 1020 again. This is where Chaotix says, I know it was kind of stupid for me to start up a server like this, but I feel like the truth just had to be said. I kept it bottled up for so long now that I just can't keep it anymore. Don't even say you didn't do anything wrong, because I know all you did. I didn't want to be crying in silence with no one to help me, so that's why I said the truth to everyone. I couldn't keep it inside anymore. I had to tell someone, and honestly, the relationship makes me feel so tired. I'm just so tired. What? Starbird for $2. Deed was a better actress than this. I wouldn't say that. Clay says her real name, because they knew each other in real life. You know none of this is true. Listen, no, I'm sticking to what I'm saying because I know it's true. We love each other a lot. I know you're scared to tell the server that I didn't do anything wrong. No, I'm not. So more DMs 10 days apart. Suicidal discussion, because of course. Same thing from previously. Okay, this is just emotionally incompetent children having back and forth. Okay, that's their knee, thank God. That's the bruise they're talking about? That's the big, mean bruise? This is so dumb. Alright.
And manipulate me into doing things for him. Clay has also touched me sexually without consent. Every time I would tell him to stop, he would just keep going. I feel like he views me as nothing more than a sexual toy. I think this next part also plays a big role in this. Clay has manipulated me into sending him nudes. Whenever I would tell him no, he would try to act all sad and shit just to get me to do it. I would honestly feel so ashamed of myself afterwards. I just felt so disgusting. So, now you all know what
Don't worry, Mr. Zombrex. That's coming.
he's done in detail along with some of my proof. For the rape and abuse thing, I didn't have any pics or videos for it since it happened IRL, along with the sexual abuse as well. Also, after I exposed Clay in my Discord server, he decided that it would be a perfect idea to destroy my server and get people to seem like I'm the bad guy. I just want to let you guys know to not believe anything that he says. He's just trying to manipulate you all into thinking that I'm the bad person in this situation. So, if you believe Clay, then get out of my sight because I've had enough with his bullshit. If you believe in abuser...
They've had so much enough that they bounce back and forth about whether or not they still want to be with Clay, and then make excuses for why they thought that was okay.
like Clay, then you're also a horrible person, just to let you know. Like, I'm trying to move on and he won't let me. I just want all...
Just letting you know from the message I'm sending, not from me. Do not support this person sending it. I can't even read what that's supposed to say.
this drama to end. I never wanted it to happen. I never wanted people to be involved with this.
If you didn't want people to be involved with it, why'd you tell everybody?
just wanted to speak the truth and stand up for myself. I didn't want to stay in silence anymore, because I felt like Clay would get mad at me if I were to expose him again. I just didn't want to live in silence anymore. I just felt like I had to say something.
Listen to this. This is rehearsed. This is taken from other videos that they cobbled together to make themselves sound like a victim. This is embarrassing.
Because, you know, I was living with this horrible person and I just couldn't do this
Living with this? You didn't live together!
anymore. Like, I just want to move on, and Clay won't let me.
I want to make it very clear. Chaotix doesn't want to move on. Chaotix loves the attention they get from this, and they love harassing Clay.
I want is to be free from him and for him to leave me alone, but he just won't listen, and he keeps spreading drama all over the place. I just hope that this will all be over soon, and I'm sorry to anyone who was involved with this. I didn't mean any of this to happen. I just had to say something about him. I didn't
Yes, everybody, Chaotix is such a victim, even though there's no evidence for it.
want to be silenced anymore. I just had to speak the truth. It's absolutely ridiculous that some people believe Clay. Like, he's a fucking abuser, and I'm the fucking victim. Why would you not believe the victim and rather believe the abuser? That's really messed up.
I believe evidence. If a friend of mine comes to me about something horrific, I will in nature believe them, but I still want to work off of evidence. I'm not going to sit there and go after somebody without it. That's caused me issues in the past. I ain't about to repeat that.
I'm never getting back with Clay ever again. Plus,
spoiler alert, they tried to.
I found a new boyfriend. His name is Dan, and he's a lot better than Clay. I've known
Until you accuse them of rape too, I'm sure.
him for quite a while now. He's been my friend for a while, but recently we got together because I've had a big crush on him. I've also made a new Discord server, which is in the description. I will also know if anyone tries to join and raid the server, so don't even try it. Anyways.
Don't even try it, they'll get Discord hitmen on you.
I hope this clears up things. And again, don't believe Clay. Don't fall for his bullshit. Bye-bye.
Now, there is an update they did. Let's see what the update is. And we're probably not gonna watch the whole thing. We might. Because there's something very interesting in what you guys see here. Fascinating stuff.
Hi, my little beans.
Die.
So, I'm gonna be talking about the recent things Clay has done since I made the other video. But if you haven't seen that one yet, please go check it out.
Thank you, Mac and Cheese, for $10. God, it's so obvious he is a kid. Don't believe anything Clay says. He's manipulating you. This is middle school drama begging to not get his side or you're a bad person. True. But also, I'm pretty sure we've hit the goal, so... I hope you all enjoyed that. We're gonna try a goal again. See if maybe this will work this time. Let's find out. All right, so back to the nonsense.
Before I start, here's
Up. That Thin Ought for $5. ChatGPT script. She's literally trying to say all the right things and make others feel bad for her. It's really pathetic. Well, this is before ChatGPT, I think.
some things I will be talking about in today's video, so if you are triggered by anything here, please get off of this video. Anyways, it seems over the course of that month, after I made that video, he basically decides to show his true colors to the internet. What I mean by this is that he's gotten worse. A lot worse. Now, I'll explain what he has done recently along with my proof. Feel free to pause and read my screenshots. So, it has come to my attention that Clay has
Chaotix was like 13 when this started, just so you're all aware.
exactly 10 alternate accounts on Discord, or maybe more. He's been following me around Discord and trying to get back with me.
Now, is this showing any actual provable accounts? No, but they sure are named Clay for some reason, and we're going to get to that in a minute.
Which will not happen ever. One instance of this was when he joined the MLP server I'm in which he raided the server to get my attention, but he was shortly banned. He has also been saying very transphobic and homophobic things to Bam and others. He is also racist, literally.
Now, I want you guys, you probably can't see too well, but this is the quote-unquote Clay, right? Little amogus here, right? Now, I want to be clear, they're claiming racism and all these other things, and this account does go on to say some really unhinged things. And that's what the majority of this video is. So we're going to just listen to it raw, all right? We're not even going to commentate, we're going to listen to it. I'm not going to blow your mind.
He's saying the N-word when he's white. I also know he's white in real life because I know him at my school, in which he has been also following me around there too. While he would follow me both online and real life, he would also try to manipulate me into getting back with him, in which I refused every time. Later on,
Sorry, one correction. It's funny that they're going on about race, considering the fact that apparently Chaotix pretended to be Asian multiple times. Very funny.
finally got to talk to the school office about what's been going on with him. They said they told him that he shouldn't be following me, so as a result of him not listening to the school, he's been out until further notice. Since today, I haven't seen him in school in like a little over a week. Along with him making transphobic/homophobic comments, saying the N-word as a white person, he has also been threatening to rape me, which has been making me scared to go back to school every day. I even stayed home on the Monday that he said he would do it to me because I was so afraid. Clay has also been trying to ruin me and Bam's relationship. In this case, he's been saying that I've been talking to another boy and have gotten with another boy named Ben. To clarify, Ben is my old ex from elementary school and we broke up in March of 2020. Clay is just making up lies to people to ruin my new relationship and get me back, and which is a really stupid way to get me back. All he's doing is make me hate him even more than I already have. He would also say that he had proof, but he would lie and say that he accidentally deleted it, kind of like as an excuse. So, Clay doesn't have any proof. I'm the one who has all the evidence of what he's done, and he has none. I mean, it's not like he can make an excuse anymore since he showed all of us how truly horrible he is. And if you still don't believe me after this, then I have many witnesses on my Discord server. After what he's done now for everyone to see, people now hate him even more. He basically just exposed himself, which I find really funny. So, seriously, if you still support Clay at this point, then you're horrible and disgusting. So now, I'll share my thoughts on all this. I just think Clay is such a huge dumb fuck, and I think he honestly needs to be put in juvie for threatening to rape me. Clay basically proved all of my points to how terrible he is. Even though a few of my friends support Clay, I still want them back because my friends mean a lot to me. I feel sad without them, and very disappointed that they're supporting someone that was so terrible to me and my friends. It also seems like Ash is out of the problem now since, she hasn't been bothering me recently. But I wasn't just friends with Ash online, I was friends with her in real life, and she backstabbed me for someone she barely even knew when I was her friend. Like, she chose someone she barely even knew, which was Clay, literally rather than believing her own best friend, in which I've known her way more than Clay has. They've literally only known each other for about I don't know, maybe half a month, I'd say. But yeah, I honestly can't believe Ash just betrayed me like that. I mean, people
Betrayed me!
are horrible anyways.
Hi, Mark.
And not all friends are gonna be nice. And let me tell you guys, as a life lesson, always be friends with people who are nice to you, and people who treat you well, because those are the kinds of people that will stick around. And go do whatever you please. We only live one life, and make sure to, be there for people, and, be nice to people. It also seems that the situation is mostly over, so I'm positive everything is okay now, and I've been doing way better. I've also been recovering from this with the help of talking to my boyfriend, my friends, and doing what I love most. When Clay comes back to school, I'll try my best to be very careful since our classes are close together, and I also go to a small school. They even said they might transfer him to a different school if he doesn't stop. I honestly hope they do, because I feel really uncomfortable having him in the school with me. But it's really hard, because I really like my school, so I hope they transfer him to somewhere different. Ash is also in my English class, and my seat recently got moved away from her. But, knowing all the things she's done, just makes me so uncomfortable being in the room with her. And, there were some points where I get to school early, I walk into my English class, and there she was sitting at her desk, with no one else in the room.
Blah, blah, blah. I think we're done with that. DN Draxon for $5. My elementary school boyfriend. Sir, you were 8 years old. That wasn't your boyfriend. True. All right, so real quick, I want to see ones in the chat if you are above the age of 25. And trust me, there's a reason why I'm asking. Of course, I have to wait for the lag. All right, plenty of ones, obviously. So, for those of you who are parents, you don't need to imagine. But for those of you who aren't, I want you to imagine, okay? Because I'm going to propose a question for you. If you have a child, and you find out that child's boyfriend, girlfriend, they, them, friend, whatever, tried to sexually assault them, quote-unquote attempted rape, I want you to type the number corresponding to what you do. Would you, 1, send them back to school and just tell the school, please keep them separated? Or 2, pull them out of the school and demand something be done about the perpetrator, or else legal actions taken towards the school as well as the perpetrator? Those are your 2 options. 1, send to school with a slap, or 2, press hard into the legal. Yuzora Mako for $5. For all the people with a little pressure in your forehead, this is a sign of a migraine for how dumb this sounds. Welcome to the 30 plus POV. True. True. And now we wait for the responses. Ooh, that's a lot of 2s. I wonder why. I wonder why. What it should be is that one Family Guy scene, I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him. Loading the gun. Now, there is a possibility. There's a possibility. Chaotix's parents are just lunatics. All right, we have 3 options here. Either A, they are lunatics. B, they actually know what happened and know it's not as big of a deal as Chaotix is claiming. Or 3, they know it's all allegedly true and they just don't care. I don't know, man. You tell me. But the reason why I let that play, and we saw the Amogus Clay, right? Well, I'm going to blow your mind. So, Clay did a part 1 response to Chaotix's video that we'll be looking at here in a minute. Yes, because we're all going to suffer. And, where did I put it? Is it here? Yes. In that, he actually plays segments from a full call he has, and he gave me the call, right? Now, am I going to play the full thing? No, absolutely not. But I am going to show you something. Now, I can't remember if this is in his response. I haven't watched it in a while, but I want you to pay attention. I want you to listen real hard, okay?
Actually, it was one of my friends that made that.
Oh, it was your friend?
Yeah.
Yeah. But, why are you, making fake screenshots of me, though?
What are you talking about?
Fake screenshots, the Among Us profile picture, Clay?
Oh,
yeah. What's with all those fake screenshots of me? I haven't been on Discord in ages. I've been offline for a while, so, and also, if I wanted to make an alt account, why the hell would I make an alt account called Clay with an Among Us profile picture?
Yeah, I don't know.
Ha! Ain't that interesting, chat? Isn't that interesting? Mac and cheese for $5. Secret fourth auction. He didn't tell his parents. True, but I think that's a bit. I think that's a bit out of bag now. We'll find out why. But yeah, that's why I didn't pay any attention to the look of it. They're fake screenshots. Somebody made a Clay account, ran in, acted like a lunatic, said all this crap. Probably freaking Chaotix or one of their lackeys to try to pin it on Clay. Insane. These people are insane. Because the thing is, I actually saw this short video, the one we have on screen, before I heard the full call. So I was thinking, okay, maybe I should probably talk to Clay about this. Because I want to make this very clear, all right? And I'm sure he's been aware of this the whole time. If I find out Clay is guilty of, like, genuine rape or severe sexual assault, I'll burn him too. I don't care, right? My value isn't about sides. My value is about what's right. But I was thinking, okay, maybe he was unhinged. Because, again, they were still, like, 14 when this happened. But then I listened to the full call. And I'm like, oh, okay. Fantastic. Die. So, was this enough? Did this cause any problems? Of course it caused problems for Clay. Like, in the call that I have. Because, again, I've listened to this. I think I'm the only person outside of Clay's circle that's listened to the whole thing. Like, people are in real life harassing Clay, calling him a rapist, threatening him. All things I told Clay to gather for the police and give to them for harassment, because that's unhinged. All because Chaotix here wants to be a victim so badly. So, things have been bad for Clay. But, of course, Chaotix won't be happy until they do worse. So, this is their hour and 3-minute long video that they published a month ago. Let's give it a little watcheroo, guys, and we're gonna put it at 1.5 speed. Thank you, Lake of Crystal Clan, for $2. Take my money for informing me of what I missed. Now let's go ahead and how do I do this? Oh, there we go. Boop. Has some free memberships. Chaotix dad supports him unconditionally, chat. Well, we actually don't know that. People lie all the freaking time. All right, so let's watch this video because there's some wild stuff, buddy.
Hi everyone. I just want to say right now that this video addresses serious and heavy topics such as rape, sexual abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, manipulation, gaslighting, harassment, and possibly much more. I'm not going to be using any sprites for this video, as this is something that is quite personal and has affected me for years.
Man, even that's too slow. Let's go for 2. Chat can tell me if it needs to slow down.
However, I will have speed paint.
Thank you, Evan Flutter Lover. Extra money for $5. Thank you. This whole thing from Chaos is just that baby Fight Club joke from Gravity Falls, but IRL, and allegations thrown in. Yeah, it's a little worse than baby Fight Club.
On screen for the very least. I will be very emotional and vulnerable throughout this video as well, and I'll probably have to take breaks.
You don't need to give qualifications, Clay. Trust me, I've got it.
During recording because of how much this whole thing has impacted me, and it's extremely hard to talk about. My voice might also be a bit shaky.
It's extremely hard to talk about, which is why they never shut up about it.
So I apologize for that. I also will not be protecting the people mentioned in this video, meaning their users will not be censored. The only names that will be censored are either people who are my friends or are just innocent people in general who are not directly involved. However, I do have to say, do not harass anyone involved. Thank you. I've been planning this video since December 2025 because of just how hard this is to talk about for me. I do not wish to reignite drama or anything like that. This video is just me speaking up about something I have talked about for years, and I wanted to make a proper video detailing everything this fucking monster has done to me. So please, proceed with caution and respect. I also recommend you watch this video in full before commenting. This is certainly not an easy video for me to make, but for some time I have been wanting to make a video detailing everything my ex Clay has done to me as a victim of his actions and behaviors. I originally made a video exposing Clay back in 2022 on my old channel. However, since my old channel was falsely taken down, it's not available anymore. So I want to make a revamped video, and I want to go into more detail about.
For the record, the channel wasn't falsely taken down. Chaotix put, I think Ace told me it was docs information in there, so it wasn't falsely. It was rightfully.
Everything, especially since I've been realizing more about him. Clay has not been on the internet for a few years, ever since he was called out in 2022, but he has recently come back. The fact that he has been roaming around on the internet lately has been causing me severe distress and has been re-traumatizing for me. What I mean by re-traumatizing is that when someone who caused me severe and serious harm...
See, this is what I'm talking about. They're malicious enough to be able to research, like, therapy speak mumbo jumbo in order to get people on their side about things by essentially using argument from authority. I'm sorry, but no, none of this makes sense.
That being Clay, has re-entered my awareness, my body and nervous system reacts as if danger is happening again. It's basically like my body going into fight or flight mode. Seeing Clay active online again has brought back a lot of traumatic memories, anxiety, and fear. And this isn't just normal fear or anxiety, no. I get painful muscle aches, migraines, nausea, constant shaking, stomach cramps, and more. This is just the raw details of how affected I am because of this trauma to the point where I can't function normally, both in public and at home.
Can't function normally. Well, run their mouth about it all day in their Discord where they think people aren't going to see it. Horrifically inconsistent.
Because of him, I was diagnosed with PTSD and generalized anxiety disorder.
No evidence to this, by the way. No evidence they have this disorder, nor that Clay magically caused it.
Back in 2023, and my PTSD from him is so bad that whenever someone makes a slight movement towards me, I flinch. I also flinch at the word
2 for flinching!
Clay in general, even if people are just talking about modeling Clay.
The asylum fee for $2 ain't that hard to talk about if they're talking true. By the way, he, him pronouns for this individual. If I can give the devil his pronouns, I can certainly give it to this loser.
That last one may sound a bit silly, I know, but it causes me a lot of distress, and I go into fight or flight mode. I also literally sleep with a knife under my pillow because I'm scared that you'll break into my house. That's just how bad the PTSD is.
Pussy, get a katana. Be a true samurai, since you want to be Japanese so much.
I will also have nightmares and panic attacks about him too. I have been retelling and reiterating my story for years, and during the past few months, ever since he came back to the internet, I have been accused of lying about my story and have been
because you are lying.
Constantly harassed by him and his retarded friends. Clay himself, to this day, claims he did nothing wrong.
Constantly harassed, aka they make videos telling me I'm wrong. That's harassment to this freak.
Wrong, which is complete bullshit. He has also made these stupid-ass videos about me, essentially victim-blaming me the whole time, and having
Well, I mean, you can't victim blame you because you're not a victim.
A huge lack of self-acknowledgement and awareness. He also whines about the consequences of his actions, which I personally find fucking hilarious and pathetic. This
funny thing is, later on, we're going to see Chaos absolutely whining about the consequences of their actions. It's almost like they're looking at a mirror the whole time.
This video will detail my entire story and history with Clay, and all the things he has done. While the order of events are implemented in my head, this won't be like my usual videos where I divide things up into sections. This is already hard to speak about as it is, so I'm just going to say it as it comes. I also don't want to package this like content. It's something extremely serious and personal. There are also some details that I either forget or they're foggy, because I suffer from derealization, dissociation, and autism, which can...
And gastric bypass disorder, and brain worms, and liarosis.
...affect my memory. My brain also just likes to block out specific traumatic events as a trauma response. If there is a detail I've left out...
You see, what this person's doing right now is they're trying to make it to where you completely understand that if they are misframing anything, they're just a soft ooh-woo baby. They did nothing wrong. You have to understand they have issues. Dean Draxon for $5. Did he just list the symptoms of a panic attack and expect us to believe that? Yes. Can't even describe the actual feeling, just a list. Well, I mean, it's almost like they have to work off of a list. Starboard for $5. This story's hard to talk about, so I've been talking about it over and over again, which isn't true. True.
Because of this, and I remember it later, I'll leave it in the pinned comment. I would also like to state that the story will be in order from exactly how I remember everything. Just because some things may be foggy in my memory does not make my trauma invalid. This same thing...
I mean, if it didn't happen, then yes, it does.
...happens to many other victims. I will also be showing all the evidence I have, including sources for some of the things I talk about. Before we begin, however, thank you for listening thus far. To start with my story, we have to go all the way back to 2019 when I was just entering 6th grade, which is basically middle school. A lot of my friends moved to a...
Middle school is 7th and 8th grade. You were in elementary.
...different middle school during this time.
Because you notice they have to conflate. Just about to they're trying to make it sound worse than it is. That's the truth of the matter. You were a freaking baby.
So I barely had any friends left, and I was pretty much alone. It was the first or second day of school when I was trying to figure out where all my classes were. I was late and walking down the hallway until I came across someone tying their shoe. I asked this person for help, and they helped me get to my class. Sometime later I would start hanging out with them, which is when I also found out their name. During this time he went by Logan Miner 27 online, but I'll just refer to him as Clay, since that's his current username. I remember we were in the same English class together, and later on he would confess to me that he would always stare at my ass during class. Looking back at it, it was really fucking weird. Like, okay. In early 2020...
Oh, don't even. Kids talk like that all the time. Heck, there was even discussions like that when I was in middle school. The difference is it was worse because we had to write it on notes and hand it back and forth in the class. And God help you if the teacher caught you. Because back in the day, there were consequences. And what were the consequences? They'd make you read it out in front of the class. It was terrible.
I would break up with my ex from elementary school, and Clay would ask me out shortly after, to which I accepted. I would also like to note that I was born October 4th, 2007, while Clay was born January 10th, 2008. Keep in mind we were both 12 at the time when we started our relationship. However, his age is no excuse for what he would do to me during our relationship.
But it's an excuse for why you're able to do insane things along with your mental illness, right? Expecting, like, full cognizant adult mentality from a 12-year-old is unironically, unabashedly abusive and insane.
Later on in the same year during our relationship, he would propose the idea of me sending nudes to him.
Hold on. This is the last nude pic you sent before the ones you just sent. Sweet, you have really good personality, you're gorgeous, you're hot, yada, yada, yada. Okay, cool. Hormonal teenager. Hate to tell you this, that happens. Now, I want to make this very clear. Should teenagers be sexting each other? No! Should they be sending nudes? No! And I want to make this very clear since Chaotix apparently doesn't understand this. And neither does Cupid and everybody else. If you are a minor and you send nudes, you are spreading child pornography. You can be charged with creation and distribution of child pornography. While the courts might have mercy, they do not care about your age. Ever. It does not give you free pass. It does not make law enforcement look at you and say, oh, that's okay, you were a kid. No. They say, hey, guess what? Charges. Don't. Like, I am 40 and I have never done this. I've never needed to. Oh my God, stop being dumb.
Once again, I was 12 at the time, far below the age of consent. There were times where...
So was he, you stupid droll!
I'd agreed to doing it because we both felt mutually horny towards each other, and this was at a time...
Look at the framing. I'm a poor innocent being. I was so young, even though the guy's the same age as me. He's a monster. You are insane!
Where we were starting puberty and developing hormones. However, I often felt gross after doing it, and I honestly felt like my body was his property. But I only did it because I wanted to make him happy. But there were also...
Not according to the DMs you showed in your previous video. You enjoyed back and forth with him all the time, little weirdo.
Times where I'd outright say no, or tell him I didn't want to send, but he would pressure, coerce, and guilt-trip me into doing so. For example, he would try to act all sad to get what he wanted from me, because he knew I was doing it.
Remember the DMs we looked at earlier, where they were being ooh-woo with each other and using little emoticons? Yeah, that's not pressuring. That's bantering back and forth, that's flirting with each other. You dishonest snake.
To make him happy, and at the time I didn't like seeing him sad. He would also literally...
I'm in a bad mood now, thanks a lot, it's your own fault. No. Not mine. Now I'm breaking up with you and killing myself. I do not miss being a teenager. Well, I miss the fact that I wasn't completely broken physically, but anyways. You only kept calling me and annoying the F out of me. What a way to respond to that. And this is... What? This is from 9 months previous. Why are these together? Couldn't find said messages, so you couldn't find the proof, so you're throwing in nonsense. Okay?
Suicide bait me.
Now, did Clay have the right to do this to somebody? No, but they were also like 12. Oh my God.
Into sending him nudes when I said no. If I have any evidence of this, like if he didn't delete those messages...
None of this is about nudes.
I'll put them up on screen now.
Still nothing about nudes. Nothing about nudes. This is from even earlier. It's from 2021.
But if he did end up deleting those messages, then...
Why did you write a script without having them on hand? And more importantly, why'd you keep... Oh, I know why. Because you know people don't read the screen. You know people will just listen and agree with it. This is insane.
I fully remember him suicide baiting me into sending him nudes. Although I'll show a bunch of screenshots of him coercing me and forcing me into sending him nudes. Please pause to read them all.
For now, I need at least 1 nude pic to text and at least 3 nude pics to call. Unhinged, but this happened... Oh my God, this was 5 years ago. 13. Hold on, let me go back. Since they make it very clear they have no problem. Okay, so this was in September of 2021. The next DM is in... Are you kidding me? October of 2022. And they're all cropped, of course. And then we have February of 2022. Now, should Clay have been saying and doing any of this? No, absolutely not. But... And now we're in 2021? I'm not reading any of this out. This is gross. And this is again in 2022. 2022 again. Now, again, Chaos is right about the fact that Clay shouldn't have been pressing them, but they were also 13! If Clay is doing this at his age now, bury him. But this is, oh my God, are you kidding me? Clay, you were maladjusted as a young teenager, the heck.
That's all the screenshots. I'm sorry if the dates aren't in order. But as you can see...
Yeah, because it takes too long to get them in order. Can't do that, then it might not prove your point.
I was very clearly uncomfortable, and when I told him no, he'd keep pushing me to do it anyway, even if I wasn't feeling well or if I was upset. I feel like he had no consideration for my well-being whatsoever. All he wanted was nudes because he was horny. And it really hurts because in some cases he would really get to me, and I'd send them. This is also bad because once an image is sent, it is no longer under the control of the sender. It can be used publicly, it can be used for blackmail, or just remain online indefinitely. I would not be surprised if one of my actual nudes are out there somewhere on the dark web or something. In fact, I am disgusted by it.
So Chaotix just made up something in their head that they have no evidence for happening and is telling the audience they're disgusted by it like it actually happened. You do realize it's a form of manipulation, right?
Speaking of this, at some point in my old server, Clay would accidentally send one of my nude photos in the general chat for everyone to see, but he quickly deleted it. Unfortunately,
I mean, you know, Chaotix used to take pictures of dogs being mutilated and putting it in the server all day long. I don't need any evidence for that. Just believe me, guys. Believe me. Obviously, I'm not saying they actually did. I'm saying that's the argumentation they're making here.
Fortunately, there were a few people who saw it, but I don't have any screenshots of people's reactions because the server was deleted for reasons I'll explain later.
Now, the interesting thing is apparently, I have a Google Doc we might go over. But apparently Chaotix sure likes CP. We'll get into that later.
He didn't just sexually abuse me, no. He would literally physically abuse me in real life too. I remember on 2 separate occasions when he was coming over to my house, he punched me in the eye and the stomach for absolutely no reason.
The stomach one's new.
I remember once he punched me in the stomach, the pain was so bad, I literally fell to my knees, and I had a bad stomach ache later on in the day.
Wait, hold on. A bad stomach ache from being punched in the stomach. Unless you had internal bleeding, that's unlikely. Sounds to me like you got the wind knocked out of you. Now, what's the context for this? Were they sparring? Were they just goofing around? Or did he just rear back like freaking, God, what's that name? That guy from Invincible. Thrag. Did he just rear back like Thrag and have enough wind pressure to where it's swooping around his arm and he just launches a fist right into her? Like, Mortal Kombat style?
And I remember when he punched me in the eye, it really stung. Once again, I have no idea why he did this. I just remember it was very sudden, and it happened so fast. Here's also some proof of the physical abuse. These photos are...
Number one, none of these are proof that he did this. And number two, these are normal scrapes and bruises kids get. I have cuts on my hand from working with machinery today.
Specifically from my birthday party, and Clay was playing rough with me. This was all
Wait, hold on. If it's playing rough, then it's playing rough. It's not intentionally trying to hurt you. It's not abuse.
Happening in the basement of my house, which has carpet, but it's very hard and solid. So when he would throw me onto the ground, it would give me bruises and rug burn, as you can see from the redness on the bruises.
Yeah, when you wrestle around and goof around on carpet, that happens. Welcome to being a child!
Even if he was just playing rough, this is still physical abuse, and it falls under that category.
No, it doesn't. That is not what physical abuse is. I can always tell. When someone's never actually gone through physical abuse, they take the lightest of possible things and spin it into that. We played a little rough and I got a little bit of hurt. That's physical abuse. Oh my God, no. Physical abuse. You have never once in your life actually suffered. Because if you did, you wouldn't be conflating these things. I have, you haven't. That's not what this is, you deranged animal.
Since he literally caused me pain and gave me visible marks. Now...
So if Chaotix were to go to a dojo and learn to spar, by their definition, because it caused them pain and left marks, sparring at a dojo is intentional physical abuse. You dishonest snake.
I assume the reason why he was physically abusive towards me is because he has abusive parents and would always tell me that his father was physically abusive, while his...
Gee, I wonder what your parents are like when you sit here and you make all these claims about somebody else thinking there's no consequences. Are your parents worthless? I'm pretty sure they are. Just a slur for $2. She got punched like Goku did to Frieza. Yep, the 1-inch punch.
His mother was mentally abusive, but that's no excuse for him transferring that abusive behavior onto me. Like...
You have no evidence that's what he was doing. You're just sitting there outing somebody's trauma because you know it's petty and you like hurting them. You are a sadistic little freak.
Why should I have to suffer just because you suffer? Why should I have to be abused because you get abused at home?
Well, that's not why you should be suffering, but you should suffer.
Now, I'm going to describe the incident that I remember the most, which is the sexual assault/rape. To give a bit of background, this was when we were in middle school, specifically in November of 2021. The both of us would usually get to school early in the mornings to hang out a bit before school actually started, which was around 7 a.m. We would have to wait outside because the school wouldn't open their doors yet. I remember it was cold outside, and I was wearing a black coat with purple on the inside. I actually still own this coat, but I should probably throw it away because it was literally the coat that I was assaulted in. The both of us were right next to...
Fun fact, when people are lying, they tend to put together a whole bunch of unrelated details to try to sell the idea that they're not lying.
...a pillar that holds up this walkway canopy, and we were standing up. While we were just standing there, he told me he was horny, and all of a sudden, he pinned me up against that pillar. I told him to stop, and I tried getting away, but his grip on me was way too strong. He ended up humping me against the pillar while I was trying to get away, and I could literally feel his crotch too. After a minute or so, he let me go. I must also note that there were cameras hanging below the walkway canopy, and one of those cameras was directly facing us, so this was all caught on security footage. Mind you, I was 14 years old when this happened, and I was too young to realize the severity of what he had just pulled on me, so for the past 11 months, I didn't pay any mind to it.
Funny, because that's not what they said earlier. So where was the bending over? Where was that? Oh, it wasn't there. It wasn't there. So here's what we're going to do. I have something Chaotix doesn't want me to have. I have a photograph given to me by Clay, all right? Because one detail they left out, Clay's brother was there, their younger sibling. Now, I have a photo of that exact area at the school. All right? Where is it? Is it here? No, it's here. So what we're going to do real quick, just to make sure we get this right. Hi. Here's the walkway, and here we have it. Like, there's the canopy. There's the stone pillars. Do you guys see a camera here? I don't. Where? Oh, it's right over there. Surely it's pointing this direction, right? No, it's pointing over here. There is no camera that points there. Chaotix is lying. Chaotix is lying. And we're going to find more about that lie here in a minute. And here's what they put on the screen, right? To try to further fool people. All right? They put up something from Reddit, forgotten sexual assault. Today I learned, yes, actually today, that I was sexually assaulted at a young age, and I'm not sure what to do with this information. The fact is, no one really knows what happened. I went off with some older cousins of mine and came running back with my mom saying I didn't want to be thrown away. Then a few days later, I was screaming from a burning sensation and was taken to a doctor. My mother was told my hymen had been broken. I couldn't say who it was, and I said it was a stick. It caused a lot of issue. Everyone had to be questioned. I have a large family. I was 3 or 4 apparently. I don't remember any of this, but I do know I grew up with doing some weird things and have some issues with sex now. What do I do? This is her, or him rather, trying to front load something far, 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 far less serious, if it even happened, which again, I don't think it did, with something far more serious that involved penetration, as though they are one and the same. It is willful dishonesty.
Same thing happens to so many other victims too, after...
See? Rape requires penetration.
They've just experienced something traumatic.
This is just gish galloping nonsense. They're intentionally being dishonest.
Which I'd like to explain so people can understand why this happens. There are 3 reasons as to why...
Now, I want to make this very clear, because I know at some point, I'm sure I have Chaotix fans, simps, in my chat. At the end of the stream, if you are over the age of 18, you are welcome to come into the server, and you can challenge me on any of this. I'd love to talk to you about it.
This happens. First is traumatic dissociation. During the traumatic experience, the mind may detach from the experience afterward to cope with the pain or terror, which can create mental fog that prevents the victim from processing the gravity of the event until they're in a safer environment. Second is cognitive dissonance. If the perpetrator is someone the victim loves or trusts, which is how I felt towards Clay at the time, the brain struggles to reconcile the good person with the bad behavior. To resolve this tension, the victim may minimize or rationalize what happened to keep the relationship intact. And third is delayed processing. Trauma isn't always filed away like a normal memory. It can stay raw and unprocessed. It's often only when a victim feels truly safe, sometimes years later, that their brain finally allows the emotions and memories to surface for processing. I believe all 3 of these reasons fit into how I felt during the 11 months after it happened. One day in mid-October, my brain remembered everything that had happened.
AKA, They had to find an excuse for why they waited. They had to find an excuse for why their stuff is inconsistent. That's what this is all about, and nothing more. Surprise, surprise.
That day, including the physical and mental harm he would make me suffer through, and everything just clicked. Even though I'm still trying to process everything that happened to me, this was when I felt like I had processed what he had done, if that makes any sense. Even before this, I knew something was wrong, and I tried coming out with my story on
Frank Brickle for $2, bring Chaotix to justice. Not my job, but we'll bully them.
multiple occasions on my old Discord server, but Clay would shut it down every time I tried talking about what happened. After I connected all the puzzle pieces together in my brain, I would go ahead and tell him about all the horrible stuff he did, and essentially I told him I wanted to break up. Of course, he did not take this lightly, as I could tell he was very used to using me and manipulating me as any abuser does.
I'm breaking up with you, even though I did when I got with... I never wanted to be with you, but you tried manipulating me into coming back. I know you'll come back. I'm not coming back ever. You'll miss me. No, I'll never miss you. I'll miss you too. I'll never miss you, a-hole. I love you too much. So why didn't you just call him a rapist then? Where's all this? I'm breaking up with you, girl power. Like, what is this nonsense?
He would be a pussy-ass bitch and cry about the breakup and how he misses me and shit, essentially trying to guilt-trip me into staying with him, but I didn't let it get to me, and I was final on my decision. Something I would like to mention is that he was the co-owner of my old server, and as a result of me coming out with my story, he would delete the entire server.
Thank you for a lot of good times, happy mirrors. How about you give me my server back? It was my effing server. I enjoyed being with you. You brought me a lot of joy. Give me my server back. This is what you're concerned with. You're claiming the guy is a rapist, but it's your server you're concerned with.
Either as a revenge tactic or to silence me.
Or just to be a dick to you because you're a weirdo. I'm not saying that as in misgendering Ivy Sly. I'm saying that as in general consensus of that idea. There are plenty of boys I have said girl power to.
When I would make my new and current server on October 22nd, 2022. In this server, he was not allowed in, and he was banned from it, so I could share my story without being silenced. This was also during the time I told my parents about it. The first person
banned from it, even though you allegedly let him in to be unhinged. Gee, I wonder why, because you made up the account, it seems.
I told was my grandfather during the way home from school, and then I would tell my grandmother, and then my dad. The four of us would immediately report it to police, and I was taken in for questioning and explaining what happened. I told them specifically there was a camera above us while the incident happened, but when the police and investigators questioned the school about the security tapes, they threw it away. They told investigators this was because they keep tapes for 2 weeks and then discard them, which...
Now, one in chat if you think that doesn't sound real. Just a one in the chat if you think that doesn't sound real. Schools only keep tapes for 2 weeks. I mean, I know, campus violence and school shootings are common and heightened securities all across the nation, but they'd only keep them for 2 weeks, even though these videos aren't kept on physical videotape anymore. They're on tiny little files on massive hard drives. It's made up. This is all made up because there is no camera there. Chaotix had to find a reason for why there was no evidence. It sounds to me like Chaotix started disliking Clay for whatever reason and concocted this entire story to make sure everybody else didn't like them and continued with it because when they're in the lie, they can't get out of it.
Of course, it had been much longer than 2 weeks by the time I reported what happened, so we were not able to obtain them. But please, keep in mind that footage of my rape actually existed at one point. This was horrible of the school to do, cause it would have been solid legal evidence of what happened, and more could have been done legal-wise. But, I think the fact that the footage of what happened existed at one point is proof enough that this was a very real thing that happened to me.
I have footage of Chaotix stabbing a man to death in Chicago. It totally existed. That's evidence that it happened. Don't ask me for it, though. They deleted it after 2 weeks.
As a resource officer at my school told me, he was only arrested and detained, but he never actually stayed in jail. Keep in mind that if the school didn't throw away those tapes, he would be serving time in prison right now.
That's not how that works, especially not for first offenders. Chaotix wants to believe they know how the legal system works, but they have no clue. They are actually insane.
Now, since I reported it to police, Clay was not allowed to talk to me or interact with me at all during school. By this time, we were both in freshman year of high school, and he would follow me and try talking to me. However, I would just try to...
Wait, hold on. Nah, you ain't doing that here. Go away. I'm going to talk to you at school. I'm just going to ignore you then. You won't be able to. I'll push you away. You're going to put your hands on me? Just get away from me. Just remember how happy we've been together. I know you'll miss me in school. Okay, it's unhinged, but do we even have any evidence that this was after you contacted the police? Because all of these seem to be within the same time span.
Try to ignore him and
Clay's saying he was never arrested or detained, which is not surprising.
Walk away, but he would always catch up to me. Once again, he would tell me how much he misses me and how he'd be a better boyfriend. Yeah, sure, but...
Which you have no evidence for, obviously.
I would always dismiss it. He would also try talking to me on Gmail too, and
Which none of this proves anything.
At the time, I was a Cookie Run fan, so he would bribe me with plushies of my favorite characters just so he could see me at lunch. But when I got to the cafeteria, he didn't have anything for me. No plushies, no nothing. And he...
Wait, hold on.
He said he just wanted to talk.
Hold on. So you're claiming this person raped you, and that's the word you keep using, and Chaotix will defend that word later on, even though there was no penetration. But that's not enough to make sure this person is someone you don't want to be around. But you're offended that they allegedly didn't have a plushie. Because the truth is you wanted a plushie because you're a self-centered loser. That's your concern? Had no plushie, no nothing. Just wanted to talk to me. Why'd you go? If they're a rapist, why did you go, stupid?
Of course, I did not want to talk to him or interact with him in any way. So when lunch ended, I tried booking it to my class. He would catch up to me like always and snatch my earbuds from me. And when I tried to get them back, he literally...
Hold on. Same month. No, you meant to do that. Look who's the smart one now. If you can't tell, it's me, Clay. How about you face the effing facts that I don't want to be with you anymore? You're already getting suspended for a few days because of that, well, what you pulled. Wasn't very smart of you, now was it? I love and care about you, and I want you to be happy, so I'll leave you alone for a little while, just take some time to relax. Just leave me alone forever. Everything is going to be okay. Yeah, without you. Take some time to relax into your comfy bed. I'll effing break your fingers if you lay another hand on me. Clay, did this happen before or after they started the police are involved in all this? Because this seems to me a lot less like you sexually assaulted me and more like I don't want to be with you anymore. Not the same thing. I literally cried at the office telling people what you've done, and now my family knows my dad wants to kick your butt. I had a panic attack because of it. I honestly don't give a crap. You did all of this to me. You were putting your hands on me and you wouldn't stop. I didn't even mean to shove you. So, Chaos put their hands on him. Okay. I only wanted to grab my effing earbuds. That doesn't effing mean you slammed me into an effing wall. You gave me a bump and an effing bruise. You wouldn't let go of me. I almost had to go to the effing hospital because I felt like I was bleeding, you pussy. Relax, just listen. No, I can't believe you pulled that on me. I'm glad you're effing suspended because you deserve it. Now they're changing our gym and health classes so I don't have to be near you. The office believes me more than you guys. They believe you more because I haven't tried to get you in trouble. I could get you in trouble, but I don't want you to deal with that. You were way too soft on this person, Clay. Like, they called you a rapist. Come on. I don't want to deal with any more crap. I feel a lot better being... This is all about relationship drama. This isn't about rape. My head hurts because of you. I almost cried during biology. Oh, boo-hoo.
My head was bleeding. Immediately after that, he told me he was sorry, but I just sped walked to my class while crying, trying to leave him in the dust. Once again, he would catch up to me near my classroom door, and he told me how much he was sorry, and he kissed me, which is something I didn't even ask for. I just sat in my class trying...
Wait, then why wasn't that in the DMs? Also, the police reporting happened after this, so it's dishonest framing still. Fantastic.
Not to cry further, because I didn't want to embarrass myself, until the class phone rang and my teacher told me that a lady at the office wanted to see me. Apparently, Clay reported himself for what he did, and I told them everything that happened. They also documented the days where he followed me in the hallways, and even the time where he slammed me against the wall on their security cameras. So it was safe to say he was kicked out of my school and moved to a different high school, and I am forever grateful I don't have to see him. After this, he was once again a pussy-ass bitch, and decided it would be a perfect idea to run away from home. His little sibling would also send me an email blaming me for him running away, which obviously makes no sense because I never encouraged him to do that, and it wasn't my fault either. It was his own choice to run away, not mine. I only found out about this because the police showed up at my front door asking if I knew where he was, to which I had no idea. Although his dad would eventually find him and drag his ass back home, and apparently he got a beating for it, which I honestly don't have any sympathy for. I know that may sound harsh, but I have no sympathy for rapist abusers like Clay.
Which, of course, you never once prove any claim of rape, but okay, buddy.
However, over the next 2 years, he would literally try to gaslight me into getting back with him. The first time he tried gaslighting me was in 2023 on an app called Text Now. I forgot the reason why we were chatting on this app specifically, but I assume it's because he got his devices taken away, which seemed to happen a lot during our relationship. During this time, he would try gaslighting me into believing that the incident where he raped me never happened, and that it was a false memory, even though I remember it as clear as day. This would send me into an existential crisis, and made me go insane trying
Where's the DMs for this? Where's the evidence for this?
to figure out whether or not it actually happened. Which, of course, what he did to me was still very real, but at the time he was messing with my head so much that I didn't know what was real or not. He would also record our calls without my knowledge or consent. In one of these calls, he asked if the things I said about him are fake, and I said, yeah, while I was yawning.
It wasn't while you were yawning, really. Again, I have the call they're referencing. The reason why they're putting this out is because they were wanting to get ahead of it. Because they found out that one of Clay's friends recorded that call, and they were caught in the act.
Clay tries to frame this as me lying about the rape incident. However, this is not the case. I don't think many people realize just how much abusers can manipulate and guilt trip you so much into believing that something did.
Oh no, I fully believe they can. I just don't believe that Clay is an abuser of yours. I just think you're a liar.
Happen when it actually did. And this is a common manipulation tactic used by abusers to silence their victims. Just because I said, yeah, does not mean the incident still didn't happen to me, and I was quite literally being manipulated to believe it didn't happen. There was also...
Again, I've heard that call. You weren't being manipulated. You were reveling in the fact that people were believing this guy was a rapist. Dean Draxler for $5, calling him a PAB for running away from home you knew was abusive is evil. Well, I mean, it's somebody they want to target, so to them it's fine. Also, I think we've reached the goal already, so... more Gidgy time. Continuing.
So another call where I said I want to get back with him, which is a common trauma response that victims will say to their abusers. This trauma response is called trauma bonding, which is a deep, unhealthy emotional attachment.
Okay, but that's not what you went through. Again, this is more using freaking, what are they called? Therapy jargon to try to excuse your behavior.
Formed between a victim and an abuser, caused by cycles of abuse, manipulation, and intermittent kindness. This is the reason why I said this, because even though he's my rapist and did horrible shit to me, I still felt that attachment towards him, which is, once again, something that a lot of victims go through, and it doesn't make their stories any less valid. I don't have many screenshots from this time, because the video I made about it is unavailable, and text now just automatically deletes your number after inactivity, so I can't access any of the messages anymore, even if I re-download the app. These are the only screenshots I have from this time. One of them is a bit blurry, so here's
Okay, hold on. You did that stuff, Logie. I don't care how much you deny. It happened. It's not some false memory. It was all real. Can you tell me what I did again? Attempted rape, sexual assault, physical, verbal abuse, etc. I remember it all. BS. No, I never did any of that because there's no evidence for it. Beforehand, what do we have here? I don't know. It feels way too real. I remember what it felt like and stuff. I remember how cold it was outside. Well, it didn't happen, okay? Can we please stop talking about this now? Gee. I wonder why. Is that gaslighting? No, is him telling you you're wrong.
From this time. One of them is a bit blurry, so here's a transcript of it.
Okay, and?
Eventually, I would realize he was trying to guilt trip and manipulate me, so I blocked him and stopped talking to him. And of course, he was upset by this because he didn't get his way. A year later, in 2024, he would randomly DM me on Twitter. He would try to have calm and positive conversations with me, ultimately manipulating me into thinking he wasn't a bad guy. This would...
Hold on, let's back this up. Let's read those. Let's actually read those. Oh, I still have you on here. Came back after a million years. Why are you texting me? Crying, praying emoji. To be honest, I don't even know. Finally got a phone. Just setting up. After a million years. Weird response. Yeah, LOL. Though I'm glad you're kind of chill right now. It feels uncomfortable talking to you, though. Fair enough. Keep in mind, the blue is chaotics. Alright, I'm gonna let you do your thing. Okay. Sorry for this awkward interaction. I don't know why you decided to text anyway. Brain is not brain today. Okay, bye. Blood is living on one brain cell. Yeah, this is how you talk to somebody you think is your rapist. Mac and cheese for $5. I looked up mental illness research as a teenager to give my OCs to be edgy. Okay. This kid used it to ruin another kid's life. Yeah, literally. Would you say you and I still have beef? I don't know, really. You seem chill, but I still remember what you did. We both did some crappy stuff, but I'm willing to let the past be past, and after all, we were pretty much just kids. I'm on the fence about it. I understand. Yeah, that's really strong evidence of rape. Because he is stupid, Clay.
This would eventually move to Discord, where he would do the same shit.
Remember, if you have a rapist, it's okay to just forget and continue talking to them like normal.
He would also record our calls without my knowledge or consent once more.
Womp womp.
Another call that he likes to claim as evidence of me lying about my story is a call where we were crossing off things in my story that he didn't like me talking about, which again is another form of silencing.
Which you don't have any evidence for. Womp womp.
During this call, I was also crying, because I knew he still did what he did, but I was too scared to say anything out of fear he would continue to guilt trip, manipulate, and possibly even hurt me.
Which again, a call you don't have, magically.
So I just gave up and complied. This is another trauma response called fawning, which is characterized by appeasing, pleasing, or merging with the needs of a threat to ensure safety and avoid conflict.
Based on those DMs, you do not have the fawning response. And you already proved that. So, congrats on another lie.
That threat in question being Clay. I really hated fighting with him, and I didn't want to get myself in harm's way, so I just gave in and complied with him, even though I was putting myself in harm's way just by interacting with him. Of course, I would realize once again he was guilt-tripping and manipulating me for the second time, so I cut him.
The guilt trip is crazy. Then How do I remember all of it? Because you made it up in your own deranged mind. Explain to me how I've guilt tripped you. Don't tell me it was a false memory either. I wasn't going to say that. Those words didn't even cross my mind. You're making me think something completely different for your own effing reputation. You think you're all sunshine and rainbows, but you sexually assaulted me.
He wouldn't contact me for a little over a year until an ex-friend of mine named Hero made a video basically spreading misinformation
Hero mentioned
about me, which I've already addressed here if you want more context. I had a fallout with Hero after they were being very ableist towards one
You don't care about ableism. You just called somebody the R word earlier, so let's not do the moral grandstanding, buddy.
of my friends who has DID, and this led me to cut them off. And in some now deleted posts, they would constantly harass and berate another content creator named Yummy Cactus. With the new information that has come out about Yummy, I'd like to make it clear that I do not support him or his actions. However, I always found it weird how many posts Hero would make about them, to the point it felt parasocial and one-sided.
You mean like you and Clay? Were you obsessed over him?
But back to their video, he would leave a comment on the video, basically spreading misinformation about me, and I had a mental breakdown on stream which led to me crying. I'll play that clip now. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just trying not to cry right now. This motherfucker gives me so much PTSD. It's just that this guy has, he practically ruined my life. And
yeah, he ruined your life. That makes sense, you lunatic.
Here, fucking involving himself in this situation that doesn't even involve him, and he's gonna spread misinformation about me, and get me, fucking harassed and shit. I get anxious during school.
No, what happened is you're worried that the information about the truth is going to spread and you're going to get caught. Which, hi, glad to make your nightmare here.
And, I have, really bad separation anxiety.
What?
I'm sorry, this is embarrassing. I don't mean to,
What does separation anxiety have to do with any of this?
get so emotional on stream.
This is all fake. Crocodile tears.
After Clay made that comment on their video, my ex at the time would inform Hero about him and his actions, to which they banned him from their server and deleted his comment. So it seemed Hero didn't want a rapist interacting with them, which is good. But, despite being warned about him and taking action to remove him from their space, this was short-lived. Sometime later, he would make a video basically victim-blaming me and using my trauma responses, like my trauma bonding and fawning, as so-called evidence of me.
Saying you're wrong isn't victim blaming, because in order to victim blame, they have to believe you're a victim.
Lying about my story, which, I'm sorry, but you cannot use trauma responses as evidence of a victim lying about their story. I think it's quite obvious.
Except for the fact that you're not having trauma responses. You're LARPing. That's what you're doing. You're LARPing. And you want everybody to buy your grift.
That Clay knows nothing about how trauma works, and it shows. Something funny I want to mention is that he literally uses Google AI to support his claims. You cannot be serious right now.
Yeah, and you just used regular Google to support your claims, while having no evidence for anything you say.
He also called me a sadist, just because I said I like seeing him suffer.
That is sadism. That is textbook sadism. You deranged animal.
Which isn't a bad thing to say about a rapist, by the way. A majority of victims also wish suffering and karma upon their rapists and abusers. I would also like to note that
I wonder how Chaos feels about the karma visited on them right now.
Sadism isn't just taking pleasure from others' pain, it's about identity revenge. It's mainly
no, it's not. It's not, in fact. That has nothing to do with it. That's a read-in nonsense from Tumblr. It's ridiculous, alright? I'm sick of this divulging or diluting of our language, alright? The definition of sadism is the tendency to derive pleasure, gratification, or sexual arousal from inflicting or witnessing physical or psychological pain, suffering, or humiliation on others. Yes, you are a sadist. Raccoon Fangirl, Lyle stole my lunch money. Proof? Why should I get proof? My trauma is important. Gotta hate liars. I do too.
a defense and compensative mechanism to protect the self, and it's also rooted in trauma. And mind you, an abuser calling their victim a sadist, or making them seem crazy, is a very common manipulation tactic.
Oh, we don't need to make you seem crazy. You just are.
In abusers. In his video, he also whines about facing the consequences of his actions, like random people coming up to him IRL and asking if he's a rapist. And honestly, I'm so glad at least some people IRL know who he truly is. Although, I already addressed his whole video in the same video cited earlier, if you'd like to go see that as well. After Clay made their video, Hero would flock to him and they'd become friends, and they'd be invited back into their space despite knowing what he has done to me. Clay would also try joining my server using his main account, but it had a different nickname and profile picture. However, he didn't even bother to change his profile beyond that, so it's safe to say he was banned pretty quickly.
Wait, hold on. You said he was banned from your server previously. How did he get in with the same account? Interesting.
And going back to Hero, not only that, but Hero is also a rapist apologist, which is...
Well, see, the thing is, to be a rape apologist, you have to believe a rape happened. And if Hero doesn't believe a rape happened, that's not them being a rape apologist.
Someone who justifies, excuses, or minimizes sexual violence, often by blaming the victim, doubting allegations, or supporting rape myths.
Sometimes you have to doubt allegations because there are the hammered herds of the world out there, much like you, who just make things up for attention. And I hope it continues to bite you in the butt. I hope more people start looking at this and more people bully you over it.
They have minimized and excused the rape situation and him forcing me to take nudes by saying that Clay was just sexually pushy.
There was no forcing. He did not hold a gun to your head. He did not hold a knife to your throat. Was he pushy? Yes. Should he have been? No. But that's not forcing you. That is not forcing you. That is not forcing you. As a matter of fact, based on how you act, Chaotix, I can guarantee you've never been forced to do anything in your life because your parents are idiots.
Which completely downplays what actually happened. They also like to claim that Clay has changed, which is just not fucking true.
Where?
I'm sorry to break it to you, but rapists don't change.
Where?
Hero has only known him for like 6 months, while I've known Clay for 6 years. I think it's obvious who would know more about him.
You don't, because you're a liar. Alright, thank you, Dean Draxton, for another $5. A majority of victims don't actually wish that. Crazy how you can use Google for everything but actual statistics. Thank you. Starbird for $5. Trauma bonding. You keep using that word. I don't think you know what it means. Good reference. Cobalt Jammer for $5. Insert give us Squidward smacking his head against cash register. True.
Hero also likes to say, oh, but he was younger and didn't know any better. Like, okay, I was young too, and I think at a young age you should know that raping someone is not okay. Mind you, this
you weren't raped.
is the same person that said, oh, I'll remove Clay from my spaces. You're a hypocritical, disgusting bitch is what you are. They also tend to have this perfect victim mindset, when in reality no victim is perfect. Hero
Well, the problem is, you're not a victim at all.
is the type of person to point out the wrong in your actions, but never actually points out the wrong in their own actions or Clay's actions.
Womp womp.
During late October, November, and December, they would constantly harass me, victim blame, and much more. During
Remember, responding to you and telling you you're wrong, that's harassment.
this time, a content creator who I didn't even know inserted themselves into the situation, and that is Love Like Mari.
Love like Mari mentioned.
Hero, Clay, and Mari would all engage in harassing me and victim blaming me. And to be honest, I'm not surprised Mari was in on this, since they quite literally victim blamed a potential grooming victim during the Cortez situation.
Potential grooming victim? Potential.
So that should tell you they have a history of doing this. Mari also gets mad at people whenever they bring this up and claim they have changed from it, but I don't know, it seems you still like to victim blame people. I'm gonna play the clip of them
You're such a snake.
doing this, by the way. Is, for lack of a better term, a freak. I'm going to try and be as nice as person as I can, since they supposedly only turned 16 the day I'm writing this, and have shown themselves to be an extremely immature person. Obviously, they're a child, and they clearly have issues with both mental health and parasociality with Mel. I'm speaking to Kai directly, since I know damn well you and Mel are probably watching this together in VR towers and shit. I'm telling you right here, right now, there's going to be a time in the future where people don't stop feeling sorry for you and the shit that you did in your past, and especially the stuff that you did avoided, which yes, I do know about, comes out, and people will rip you apart and won't acknowledge the fact that you are a victim, whether you want to admit it or not. If you have any self-preservation instincts, and you'll leave Mel and stop fucking lying about your age to everyone you meet, maybe you'll stop blackmailing people and accusing them of being weird for you when you were the one lying about your age and to adult faces in VR chat. And maybe, just maybe, you won't be able to adult you met on the fucking internet a year ago. But once again, I'm getting ahead of myself.
We'll announce this now. I'm going to visit Mel in real life very, very soon, and I don't want any problems with that either, because I can't imagine the rumors that will spread during that.
It's almost like, and hear me out, that you're meeting up with a grown-ass adult when you are only 16. Like, what the hell did you expect, bro? Is the number one rule on the internet not to meet up with strangers online? Are you fucking stupid?
Okay, look, here's the thing, and it's going to be very uncomfortable. There are times you have to say, hey, why did you do this stupid thing? Even to a victim. Because sometimes that's the only way they learn. Because if all you do is coddle when bad things happen to them, they don't learn anything. And they turn around and they do the same behavior. Unfortunately, I've witnessed that happen. It's unpleasant. Is it not? Is it fun to sit there and tell a victim, hey, you shouldn't have done X thing? No. But at the same time, if you don't, they'll repeat it. They need to know.
Yeah, anyways, back to our situation. I cannot for the life of me give you a reason as to why Mari butted into this situation, because it really had nothing to do with them whatsoever.
Chaotix, your entire channel's filled with things that have nothing to do with you. Sit down and shut up.
And it seems like they just wanted to victim blame another person because they're bored and they have absolutely nothing to do with their miserable life. And mind you, this person turned 19 recently, a legal adult. They should absolutely know better. All three of them love to
You're a legal adult. You don't know better. Loser.
spread misinformation and rewrite and twist the narrative of my story all the time. Because of this constant harassment, I would literally almost end up killing myself. However, my ex and
Next time, follow through.
my friends convinced me not to. I will admit, the only thing I have done as a result of the harassment was cutting myself. This is just what happens when someone is constantly harassed on the internet, and during this time I was not in the right state of mind. During December, Clay would constantly harass me on his community tab, and when I called out the harassment and told him to leave me the fuck alone, he would try defending himself by saying he's protected by the First Amendment.
Because he is. Thank you, Baiji, for $20. Once again, I don't know who this is, but they sound dumb and have an annoying voice. Also, ducks are cool. Yes, they are very cool.
Not kidding. Like, last I checked, the First Amendment does not include harassing people.
Then you shouldn't be allowed to do this either. You don't know what the First Amendment allows? You're an idiot.
Like, do you hear how fucking retarded you sound? I hope you know that.
But remember, Bug Thief had a friend that was ableist or whatever their nonsense was, so therefore bad. But, they can say it all day long. It's okay. They have the pass.
The Supreme Court has ruled that some speech is not protected, such as...
You're right. And you know what's one thing that's not protected? False accusations. Defamation.
harassment, true threats, defamation, obscenity, and inciting imminent lawless action. Just because you say something on the internet doesn't mean you aren't free from consequence. You cannot use the First Amendment as an excuse here. And I'd just like to say that if someone says, leave me alone, you leave them the fuck alone. Don't...
Cool, so Clay says for you to leave him alone, are you going to do it? No, of course not, because you're the oh-so-powerful victim, right? loser.
Just keep posting about them on your community tab. This is the literal definition of harassment. He would also make a shitty nothing burger video about this too. Like, dude, put the fries in the...
Which is why you're so scared of it. Evan Flutterlover, $5. Last donation. Lio snuck into my house and stole my Hatsune Miku figures. Luca plushie, and FNAF toys. Source, please trust me, my little beans. True.
Bag already, holy shit. Stop your bitching and whining. Also, notice how the fucking thumbnail for this video is worse than his first one. Not only would Clay harass me, but so would his little sibling. They would constantly comment on my posts trying to taunt me or get a reaction out of me. However, a majority of these comments would be labeled as hidden or just deleted. If you look at their channel, literally all of their posts are about me, which I have ignored almost all of them for obvious reasons. I swear to God, it literally looks like they're going through some kind of parasocial breakdown, and it's really creepy how the only thing they post about is me specifically. Like, can you actually go outside and touch some grass, or even...
You are literally so terminally online, you're still on your channel, even though you're in severe legal trouble, trying to police your comments, because God forbid someone finally call you out, you deranged animal.
Take a shower, cause I can smell you through the screen. Sometime after this, I would also find out that Hero and Clay started dating, which I shouldn't have to explain how beyond fucked up that is. Literally all they do is post art of their OCs all lovey-dovey, ooh-woo. Speaking of this, Hero kinda has a history of befriending people who are clearly problematic, such as a UTTP member, and obviously Clay.
Yeah, I'll agree that Hero shouldn't do that, but Hero's also a minor, and you're deranged.
I know there's probably more, but I can't remember at the moment. And also, if you don't know what the UTTP is, it stands for YouTube Troll Police, and it's known for being a ring of people who partake in harassment campaigns and downright very illegal behavior.
Yeah, just like you do. You're no different.
I've unfortunately been targeted by these weirdos for a few months, but I just ignore them because I ain't wasting my time on some little kids on the internet trying to be edgelords. Hero and their friends also like to stalk my server, and take screenshots of anything to make me look bad. So yeah, not only are they harassers, but they're stalkers, and many of my server members have pointed this out too. Also, during the recording of this video, I found out that Hero traced their Sona over an image of Hitler. Of course, this is very fucked up and disgusting and disturbing to do, but what also baffles me is that, Hero is black, right? But Adolf Hitler also targeted black people, not just Jewish people. As said by a simple Google search, yes, the Nazi regime under Adolf Hitler targeted black people.
Okay, and they want to do edgy art? Who cares?
For persecution, sterilization, and murder, viewing them as racially inferior and a threat to the purity of Aryan race. While black people were not subject to the same industrialized, systematic extermination program as European Jews, they were still victims of Nazi racial policy, ranging from social ostracization to forced sterilization.
Then maybe that should be Bug Thief or Hero's value to have, and not you, Whitey McWhiterson. I mean, here's the thing, right? You can have your opinion. That's fine, like I said previously. But this is goofy gatekeeping. Shut up.
And concentration camp imprisonment. So the fact that they're drawing their OC over an image of Adolf Hitler while being a black person is just, it's baffling to me. Like, what? And I don't want to hear the excuse of, oh, but it's just a joke. Like, no, absolutely not. Even as a joke, this is still fucked up. Also, Hero just likes to defend Clay tooth and nail too, so like, okay.
I wonder why they would defend their partner. Very, very baffling.
Anyways, after some time in late December, Clay would finally leave me alone, and hopefully for good. He has not interacted with me since, and I hope it stays that way. And if he tries interacting with me again, I will not be entertaining it, I will not be responding at all, and I will take legal action if I have to. I want to stay away from him as much
No, you won't.
as possible. However, on the other hand, I can tell Hero still stalks me and my accounts, because they recently bypassed my 18 plus not safe for work art account on Tumblr and commented, I'm not impressed, Chaos. Like, you want a fucking cookie? Not impressed by what? You're 17, and this is a not safe for work account with 18 plus warnings plastered everywhere, and all of my posts are labeled as mature. It clearly isn't meant for you, nor targeted towards your demographic. Also, when I looked at their account during this time, they had no posts, no likes, and they weren't following anyone besides the official Tumblr account, so I could tell they only created an account just to fuck with me. I, of course, blocked their account. I could give less of a fuck about Hero, since I haven't posted about them in months, and I don't plan on engaging in whatever they do. I'm trying my best to give them as little attention as possible. It's odd because I never did anything towards them, it's just one-sided beef like how they targeted Yummy Cactus. So that basically concludes my story and all that has happened. I know there will always be some people out there who don't believe my story, and...
Okay, so we're going to move on from this one, because there is something I want to share. I've got to share it. Because if I don't, Fishy's going to lose his mind. Where is the... addressing the allegation stuff? Yada yada nonsense. Ah. I've got to find a very specific part here. Alright? Let's go with both of these.
So, for some reason, people have been digging up the fact that I had a rape fetish when I was 12. Now, I don't exactly remember where this fetish came from.
How screwy you gotta be to, number one, talk about that, number two, admit it, and then number three, want to justify it to the public.
First place, since this was years ago, when I was barely a teenager yet. Some people have been speculating that I was groomed into having a rape fetish at one point, but I don't remember myself being groomed at the age of 12 or before that, so I'm not entirely sure. However, I want people to know that I haven't had this fetish ever since I was 12, and I don't condone it. Hiro and Clay have been using this as leverage against me, which is so weird. I feel like they aren't concerned and worried by the fact that a literal 12-year-old was having rape fantasies, and would rather use this information against me to make me look bad, and it's disgusting. Again, I don't have this fetish anymore, so it's weird to bring it up just to make me look worse. We also shouldn't be just airing out children's fetishes either. The person who brought this up in the first place was Clay, and for some reason he's been talking about the rape fetish I had when I was 12 with a 14-year-old who is literally one of my peers. Also, I apologize for the screenshot being so heavily censored. This was made by a peer of mine. This peer was also in the server where this was originally.
Thank you for Baiji for another $5. Once again, she's proving the point that nobody gets more offended by racial jokes about black people than white people. Also true.
Anyways, I don't think we need to be discussing this kind of stuff in the vicinity of a 14-year-old. And mind you, Clay is a senior in high school, which just makes this hella predatory on his end. A 14-year-old does not...
Wait, hold on. Didn't you get in trouble for posting pornographic images around minors when you were the same age as Clay? Friendly fire there, buddy.
...need to know about a weird fetish I had when I was 12. That's disgusting. A 14-year-old shouldn't even be included or interacting with this situation in the first place, to be honest. I don't know why this is even an allegation.
I need to say, casting satanic spells upon Clay. This is gonna be amazing.
But I'll address it anyway. So, if anyone isn't aware, I'm a theistic Satanist, and I enjoy doing witchcraft. And for a few years, I've cast karma spells upon Clay for what he did to me. If you want to know what he did to me for these spells to be cast in the first place, he basically raped and abused me, which is something that will be explained more in depth later in this video. For some reason, people are mad at me for casting these karma spells onto him, when I think it's genuinely reasonable considering what he did to me. Karma spells are meant to be cast upon people who have harmed you, so I'm not sure what the big issue is. I assume this is only being brought up only to make me look worse as well. It's not evil to cast a karma spell upon someone who has abused and raped you. I think it's pretty justified. If you think casting a spell is more harmful than someone who has attempted to rape and abuse you, you need to get your priorities in check. Another similar thing I would like to add is that a few years back I used to hate God due to what he did in the Old Testament, but now that I've been educated on religion in the past couple of years, I now have high respect for God and I believe in him alongside Satan. For some reason, my ex decided to bring it up recently.
Do I really need to go into that and how stupid that is? But on top of that, do theistic Satanists even believe in karma? Isn't that mostly like an Eastern religion thing, like Hinduism and Buddhism? Buy you for $2. Can you perform an exorcism on this one too, Lia? Well, they gotta want the demon gone, so we're gonna go back to this.
And as a victim, I unfortunately have to accept that reality. It just hurts knowing that no matter how many times I retell my story, there will always be people out there who either dismiss it or excuse it because they have a bias towards Clay. I also want to make it painfully clear that I will never, ever forgive Clay for what he has done to me. I don't care how many times he claims to apologize. No amount of half-assed apologies will make me forgive him. The amount of pain he has caused me and the amount of PTSD I have from him is immeasurable, and I feel so much extreme rage and hatred towards him. If you are someone who still believes Clay is 100% innocent and did no wrong, even after everything I've discussed in this video, do not fucking interact with me. If you try interacting with me, you will be blocked immediately.
Feel free to block me, Chaotix. It's not going to save you.
Sincerely do not want to take any shit from ignorant and incompetent rape defenders and apologists. I would also like to add that if you claim to be neutral, despite all the evidence I've shown, and you think
you haven't shown any evidence,
I am lying, do not interact with me either. I get that when people say they are neutral, they're trying to avoid the spread of misinformation and such, but I have shown all the honest evidence I have saved for years. This is not misinformation. This is real. In that context, saying you are neutral can be very invalidating, and it would fall under dismissing or
So Chaos casted a Kamehameha. Oh my god, I can't believe you said that.
Undermining my story. I'm simply asking to respond with empathy instead of doubt. Believing survivors doesn't mean you abandon critical thinking. It means choosing empathy first instead of suspicion first. Because when people default to neutral in situations of harm, that neutrality rarely lands as neutral to the person who was hurt, and it feels like doubt. What happened doesn't become less true just because it's uncomfortable for someone else to accept, and me and many other survivors are not responsible for making that truth easier to
You don't get to lump other survivors in with you because you're not a survivor. You're just a liar.
Swallow. I am also not obligated to keep explaining myself to people who have already decided not to listen, because at a certain point, protecting my energy and well-being matters more than convincing them. I do not owe people repeated explanations. I do not wish to interact with people who are in bad faith, and that's how I am going to curate my space. The only people I want in my space are those who believe my story, are empathetic, supportive, and respectful, because those are the people I like to be around. I already have many friends and family members who support me, including the staff at my school. These people all know what I've been through. I know Clay doesn't like it when I talk about him or what he's done, but you couldn't pay me to care. I will continue to retell my story for years to come, so more people are aware, and he won't be able to hurt others. He does not get to dictate what I say, nor will I let him silence me like he has done in the past. As a victim, I am allowed to share my experiences and stand my ground. I don't let people walk all over me anymore. After this video is uploaded, I will continue not to talk about Clay or
No, you'll continue, because you still do.
Hiro, with events and private discussions being an exception. I do not wish to interact with Clay, Hiro, Mari, and the other people who support them, and I will not give them any attention. Over the past month or two, I've matured and realized I do not owe these people anything, nor do I have to entertain them or give them attention. If they decide to comment on this video, I will not be engaging in whatever they have to say, and it'll be deleted. Because of the way they treated me, I have no sympathy for them whatsoever. It's hard to sympathize with someone who's treated you so inhumanely, to the point where it almost drove you to offing yourself. And I will be honest, because of this lack of empathy, I do not care if they get attacked or harassed off the internet, because maybe then it would be a wake-up call to not victim blame someone and sympathize with a rapist.
Well, the funny thing is, that's being reflected right on you right now, and you can't handle it.
It's like the phrase, play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Now, I'm not encouraging anyone to go harass them, but I'm just saying that if it did happen, I would not care and I would not feel bad. I know this is a controversial take, but
I'm not encouraging anybody to harass chaotics, but if it happens, I won't feel bad and I won't correct you.
with the way they act, they need to get off the internet ASAP. Before my conclusion to this video, I'd like to address some misconceptions some people have regarding my story, mainly from people who refuse to believe it, or those who are ignorant, so I'd like to clear up some things. First of all, some people like to say that my story has many inconsistencies, which...
Chat? One in chat if you noticed all the inconsistencies. Just a one in chat. Oh boy. That's a lot of ones. I wonder why.
Which is something I'm very confused about, because I've been telling my story the same way for years.
That ain't true.
Premise being that I was raped and abused in various ways. I think the only
raped and abused? So you raped in various ways?
Reason they say my story is inconsistent is because I've been remembering more things over the past few months and pointing them out.
That's not why they say it's inconsistent. It's because your story changes.
Which isn't even an inconsistency, it's just me remembering things from what happened that my brain blocked out for a long time, which is actually called delayed processing, something very common for a victim to go through after a traumatic event. And speaking generally, victim stories are not always consistent, because you have to take into consideration...
What does that have to do with the failed reporting thing you just threw up there, you dishonest lout?
That trauma changes how memory is stored, dissociation/derealization, and many more factors. Just because someone's story is inconsistent doesn't mean that their story is automatically invalid. You are just victim blaming. Second, people have criticized me for calling what happened both rape and sexual assault. They get mad at me for calling it either term, which is just stupid, because rape and sexual assault are equally as bad. Because SA is sexual assault. Sexual assault of any kind is rape. Raping someone makes you a rapist. Sexually assaulting...
Not true. You are dishonest. You're a liar. All forms of sexual assault are not rape. Rape requires penetration. You are taking a genuinely horrible thing and you are watering it down so you can call somebody a rapist. Which, I want to be very clear, this isn't my story to tell, and I don't know if I have, permission to tell it here. But by their own standards, Chaotix is also a rapist. Because of what they did to a previous partner at a much older age than what they're claiming Clay did.
Someone also makes you a rapist. Any form of sexual assault is a violation of someone's consent, and that's what matters. People have also told me it isn't rape just because I wasn't penetrated.
Because it's not, because you weren't.
So here's a fact. Rape can be perpetrated either with or without penetration.
Evidence? Statistics? Definitions? Provide them.
Focusing on labels like these, saying, it isn't this, or it isn't that, just downplays what actually happened.
Actually, no. What happens when you sit there and you take a horrible thing and you just downplay it and you water it down is you make the people who actually went through those things look foolish. Because you take what they went through and you make it a joke. You're trying to appropriate actual terms used by victims who have gone through things for your own selfish gain, and you should kill yourself immediately.
Because were you there when I was being raped or sexually assaulted? No! So shut the fuck up. I would also like to note...
How am I supposed to be there for something that didn't happen?
That definitions have changed over time. For example, the FBI updated its definition of rape in 2012.
Yeah. Is this a screenshot for ants? Give me a second here. Let's try to look that up, all right? We'll see if I can find the exact thing. Definition. In 2013, the FBI UCR program began collecting rape data under a revised definition within the summary reporting system. Previously, offense data for forcible rape were collected under the legacy UCR definition. The carnal knowledge of a female forcibly and against her will. Beginning with the 2013 data year, the term forcible was removed from the offense title and the definition was changed. The revised UCR definition of rape is penetration, no matter how slight. That's within the first paragraph on this screenshot. of a vagina or anus with any body part or object, or oral penetration by a sex organ of another person without the consent of the victim. So it's broadening it to not just be with phallus, but with anything. Attempts or assaults to commit rape are also included in the statistics presented here because it's attempted rape, which you have no evidence of him doing. However, statutory rape and incest are excluded. You are lying to your audience. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. All right? Give me a moment here. Just give me a moment. I'm going to blow this wide open. Just a moment. All right, so if you look, you see the screen cap, see the form there? Let's go ahead. We're going to switch over. We're going to get into the reading one. It's the same format. This is what they're looking at. Again, right here. Anyone can pause. I just read it off. It requires penetration. It requires it. Chaotix is lying directly to their audience because they put in a poor resolution screenshot, knowing full well people weren't going to look it up. They weren't going to check them. You dishonest snake. Now, the person who was affected, they have evidence for their claims in the server, like genuinely evidence for the claims. So what I'm going to do is I am going to invite them to come into my office temporarily. They can give us a short accounting of what happened. And for those of you who want to see the evidence, feel free to hop in the server if you're not there already, because there's screenshots for it. Or they can put it in a Google Doc, and I can literally just throw it up under the description after the stream's over. So I'm going to hop in my office real quick, and they can join. God, so dishonest. Starbird for $5. Don't be mean to him, but I totes hire a salaryman to get him. Sorry, YouTube censors are... Yeah, I know. I struggle with the same thing. So, while we're waiting on that person, because I don't think it'll... it won't tell me when they hop in, so... Let's continue on with the video.
To be broader than it used to be. The overall direction of the update has been used towards recognizing more forms of sexual violence, not less. But...
Yeah, but none of it's what you say. It's still penetration. All of it's still penetration. You liar.
At the end of the day, it was still non-consensual, and that alone makes it serious. Anyways, I think I've said all I need to say, and wanted to say. It was really difficult writing the script and recording for this video, but I'm glad you stuck around till
the... Hello.
Hello. Hi.
You okay to do this? If not, that's fine.
Nah, can I have someone else come in too? If
Sure.
that's okay.
I don't see why not.
Okay.
As long as it's not like Hero, because they're not in the server and they won't be until they're
Oh,
18.
yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I got it. All right. Let's get Mari in.
Oh boy, Mari.
Yeah. Yep. Oh.
Hello, Mari.
Hey, what's up?
Hello. So, apparently you are needed for your friend here to tell their story.
Yeah, I'm the emotional support, Mari.
All right. So, real quick, so we can get started. How old were you when this happened, and how old was Chaotix?
All right. So, I was 18. Chaotix was 17.
All right. So, tell everybody what happened.
So during vacation when I was in Maine around the summer, around late summer, and I was on sleeping medication at the time, and I won't get into full detail, but Chaotix did some questionable things to me around that time that I do not really feel good about.
Yeah. Look, if you're not comfortable talking about it, it's fine. You don't have to. I was serious when I said that. I wasn't just covering bases. I was being dead serious. If you're uncomfortable, it's okay.
I know it's I did confront Chaotix about it on the way back from vacation. My grandfather was in the gas station going to like the bathroom, and I told him like that like it wasn't right, and I wasn't really like mentally there at the time. I was really just trying to sleep. I don't know. It's
okay. I'm just gonna be real with you. It's very clear you're not actually ready to talk about this publicly. You are actually just struggling, and that's okay. I'm not judging you for that, but I don't think you were ready to talk about it publicly.
I know it's just it's kind of hard for me to talk about.
No, trust me, I get it. If anybody here knows about that, it's me. But would you be more comfortable with compiling the literal screenshots where Chaotix admits that they did these things, and that way I can just put it in the description of the stream, and people can have that as a resource instead. Would that be better for you?
Yeah, that can work too.
Yeah, I think you'd be more comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Going forward, though, it's okay to say no. I promise you, I'm not going to get mad if you say no to something, okay?
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah.
Okay. So, I'll go ahead and leave you be then, okay?
All right.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
So, they're going to get their screenshots together, but what is being talked about is, by Chaos's definition, they are exactly what they are accusing Clay of. But on top of that, they just admit that they did it, like unabashedly and unapologetically, right in front of their server, and none of these losers bat an eye at it. So they'll get that together. It'll be in the description of the stream once that's together, so you guys can keep an eye out for that for the near future. But we're going to continue with this video and close it out.
The end, because it shows you care. While it was difficult, I'm just happy that I got the word out so more people will know and spread awareness. My head already feels a lot lighter getting this out. I would also really appreciate it if people were to share this video around, spread awareness, and maybe even hype this video so it gets more attention.
No.
Victims like me deserve to be heard and not silenced. No one should have to fight this hard just to be believed, and no survivor should be pressured into silence just because their truth is uncomfortable. Once again, I know some people will still choose to be ignorant and dismiss my experience, which is something I cannot control, but I stand by what I've said, and I'm not going
Hey guys, that was Malvia, that wasn't Clay.
to keep debating my own trauma. If you are someone who has gone through something similar,
Clay's got a deeper voice, guys, come on.
just know you're not alone, and you don't have to prove your pain to anyone who's already decided not to listen. Lastly, I want to thank everyone who listened with an open mind and took this seriously. It genuinely means more than I can put into words. If you have any
Frank Brickle for $5. You stay strong, have faith. Justice is a dish best served cool. True.
questions, you can always leave a comment, and I'll respond when I'm able, or you can DM me privately on Discord, or even maybe send me a straw page gimmick. There will
Malvia, as previously stated, is a very recent ex of Chaotix.
be questions that I probably won't answer because my boundaries are my boundaries, and I don't have to respond to anything that makes me uncomfortable. Simple as that. Just be respectful, please. Please spread this video for awareness sake, and either block or report Clay. However, both would be better. Due to what he has done, he does not deserve any support nor sympathy. And if Clay is watching, which he most certainly is, I'm going to put this in the most lightest way possible. I wish you never existed, and I wish
It's alright, I wish you didn't either. So, we could, if we wanted to, we could go through Clay's response. But I don't really think that's needed. Because there was more than enough just talking about it to prove this person's insane. But it gets better, dear viewers. It gets better. And by better, I mean unspeakably worse. So here's what we're going to do. Alright? Boop. Boop. So, on the 10th of this month, I was approached by Clay, Hero, Mari, and a few other people, because they were given a short video, they turned into screenshots, of somebody reaching out to Chaotix. Well, for what? To do a hit on Clay. Unironically. To try and get Clay killed. Now, I don't feel like reading all of these. We're 2 hours in. You can go to Love Like Mari's channel where we do a dramatic reading of all of it. Literally everything. And Fishcake, we'll get to it. Chill. But just to get the idea going here, because I feel this needs to be shown. Here they are showing Clay's face. Verifying where he lives. Let's see, is this one? Talking about how they'll have people with masks and fake license plates. How they are going to jump him and asking, would you like us to kill him? We can make it seem however you want. We can hide the body. Interesting. So, when they brought this to me, can you guys guess what my response to it was? What do you think the first thing I told these people to do was? Take a guess. What do you think the first thing I told them to do was? The chat is taking its time. Police, contact... Yes, I said go to the police. Don't make a video about this. Go to the police, right? Because that's what you do when something like this happens. So they did. And Chaotix was temporarily detained. And we made the decision that once that was done, to start publicly talking about this, because we all knew what would happen if we didn't. And Chaotix already tried it. They would try to get ahead of it. So, I'm going to read out their response to being called out. Hi, I apologize for not being active on here. And if it wasn't obvious enough, I'm going to be taking a long break. It might be for a few weeks, a month, 2 months, I'm not sure yet exactly. But I'm only coming back once I feel better. And don't worry, I've seen all the stuff happening recently, so I'll provide a brief explanation as to how and why it happened for now, as I want to make things clear, and I don't want things left up in the air to speculate on while I'm gone, just because it's not appropriate and it's a serious matter. And Malvia, you don't owe anybody an apology. It's going to be okay. But trust me, if anybody understands, it's going to be my community. A person on Discord got a hold of me through Straw Page and then friend requested me on Discord. I would like to state that I did not friend request them first, because that matters. They reached out to me at first, and I did not know them previously to this. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I thought they would provide me with some more information about my rapist initially, as they stated in their Straw Page gimmick. But instead, they offered to murder him. I'm terribly sorry if this comes out as an excuse, and promise me I do not excuse what happened. But during this time and for the past few months, I have not felt like myself at all. As I mentioned in the most recent video, many victims have gone through thoughts of wishing their rapist were dead, which is something I wished upon for years but would never actually act upon said wishes. So when this random person came to me offering to do so, I admittedly agreed. Another note, this all happened in private DMs. Now, I wasn't sure if they would actually go through with it or not, but as I've mentioned before, I felt like it would bring me justice if my rapist was wiped off the face of the earth, especially since police didn't punish him enough when I initially reported it back in 2022. Gotta love the American justice system. For further clarification, I never paid this guy anything. Nobody cares. And you wanna know why? You wanna know why Chaotix wants Clay dead? So they can continue the victim narrative without any pushback. That's the only reason. Looking back on it and reflecting, I was definitely not in the right state of mind when I was talking to this guy. And since I've been having so many nightmares, panic attacks, and self-harming because of my rapist in the first place, I feel I was taken advantage of, And me and my family have agreed upon this notion. You weren't taken advantage of. You were giddy. You lying cow. Pathetic. This is actually pathetic. I believe this because it's clear my mental state has slowly been deteriorating, and I've said this countless times before, that I have derealization, disassociation, and many times where nothing feels real, and I go into existential crises. You're 18. No, shut up. Unfortunately, there's many a-holes on the internet that will take advantage of someone's mental state to try to get them in trouble. They didn't care about your mental state. Your mental state had nothing to do with this. You just wanted somebody dead. You're not a victim in this. You are the victimizer. Mind you, this is something I never do, and this isn't even like me. You would do anything if you thought you'd get away with it. I've tried to tell myself not to out on my impulsions and intrusive thoughts, but I guess it just slipped out this time. You were giddy about it, didn't slip. Which rarely happens, as I usually have self-control. This time, I felt like I didn't have any control of myself. We do not know who this guy is exactly, but is currently being investigated by police and investigators in general, and they said they might have an idea who it is. My family has speculated it might have been a cop. Well, if it is, you're sunk. But personally, I have a deep gut feeling it was my rapist himself, trying to get me in trouble for something and setting me up, because not gonna lie, he's the type of person to do that. Remember, I've known him for 6 years. So immediately trying to put the blame on Clay for their actions by trying to obfuscate. Fantastic. Speaking of the investigation, it is ongoing, and the people making streams and showing the screenshots publicly is very immature and inappropriate. Evidence to that. Not only is it generally dangerous and reckless, but it also damages the evidence and makes the investigation a lot more difficult for police who are actively working on it. Chaotix has never once looked at the evening news. I'm sorry, but talking about what is obviously public, what actually happened, does not, magically, make an investigation go wrong. The data is there, they have connections to Discord, us talking about it does not inhibit that. What they're trying to do is get their community to not listen to people talking about it by feigning some sort of legal knowledge. The distribution of the evidence publicly will be taken straight to the police, and they won't care. As spreading it publicly is a breach of professional conduct. No, it's not. And can be considered tampering with evidence. No, it can't. Since screenshots can be manipulated and cropped, especially when shared online. You're right, the screenshots could be. Not your DMs, though, which they can get from Discord, completely unaltered. The truth is, you've already admitted this is what happened. There's nothing in the screenshots that changed that, even if they were altered, which they weren't, but even if they were. What a dishonest cow. Even when they're dead to rights, they try to find a way out of it. Please be careful and mindful. This is an ongoing investigation. Please do not act stupid sharing it around the internet. No, I'm going to, and I'm going to embarrass you, as it could lead to legal repercussions. You're the one that should be in jail. Once again, the publication of this evidence will be taken straight to the police. Tell them. Tell them who I am. Watch when they do nothing. And I have a right to report it as told. No, you weren't told, Dick. Also, please do not harass me or pressure me into making a video post or anything like that. You're welcome to come on stream, as I'm honestly not in the right mental state to do so at the moment, and I haven't been able for a week because of it. I'm currently trying a new professional counseling office and genuinely going well so far, so don't worry. I am seeking professional help. Chaos tried to call a hit on somebody. Person most affected is Chaos. This is ridiculous. These are thoughts I battled alone for years, and the live streams and constant harassment has only made me worse, and it's unfortunately led me back to old habits, like watching gore videos as a coping mechanism. Yeah, but they get real mad when you call them a sadist. Like, your parents need to take your internet equipment, burn it, and, like, keep you in a room away from all electronics forever. Forever. Who has that? Who has gore as a coping mechanism, you deranged animal? You're probably a serial killer in the making. Which I never wanted to go through again. Click the X button. I won't be active here until I'm better. But I might post updates every once in a while and let you all know how I'm doing. I won't be very active on Discord either, but I will pop in from time to time just to check in briefly. I also won't be accepting friend requests from people I don't know for a while, but you can send me things on Straw Page if you like. Just be kind and respectful. Yes, sir, everybody go to a Straw Page. Tell them they're a sunk loser, and that the law will come for them. It's respectful. Very fragile state right now. We don't care about your state. You try to get somebody killed. So please be considerate, after lying about them, mind you, considerate and mindful of that. I just want to take time and focus on recovering from whatever is going on with myself. I shouldn't be dealing with such intrusive thoughts this early into my adulthood. They're not intrusive. You loved them. I'm just disappointed in myself that I ever accepted that friend request and got taken advantage of. You weren't taken advantage of! You tried to get somebody killed! You are such a snake! Of the horrible mental state I've been in for months, I'm hoping I can recover and move on from this. I hope you're stuck in a room for the rest of your life, a padded cell, away from the rest of society. As it's really the only thing I can do, to be honest. Please don't contact me about my rapist or asking me stuff like, can you explain this? Yeah, because then you'd have to try to find out a new lie on the spot. Because it only makes me shun away and leaves a pit in my stomach, which won't help at all with my recovery. And just in general, respect my boundaries. I'm a human with complicated emotions and feelings like everyone else. According to yourself, you're a rapist. And you try to get somebody killed. So no, you're not like everybody else. Overall, I thank you, and I will update my recovery progress whenever I'm able. I'm doing this purely for myself. I'll be back soon. I also might turn off comments to avoid harassment, since I won't be watching over my socials 24/7. They do, by the way. They removed all the comments that have been posted and then stopped comments. And of course we have here, just letting everyone know that I've turned off paused comments on my channel as I mentioned in my previous post. Reason being that frankly, I'm overwhelmed, stressed, and have been harassed in general, and people saying not so nice things about me, which honestly isn't helping me get better. I don't care if you get better. I want you gone. Which, I also apologize for deleting some comments on my previous post. Well, you're not sorry at all. I just been extremely overwhelmed and stressed. They called a hitman for the comments. I do plan on making a better response once it's been a month or two of going to therapy. I can't wait. I'm going to bury you with that too. And so far, it's been great for me. I just want people to keep in mind I'm getting professional help. I also appreciate all the kind gimmicks on my straw page. It genuinely means so much and really encourages me to be better in the future. Thank you so much. So, here's what we're going to do. Before I forget, because I might forgore, because I am old. Clip. Copy. Who's in consultation tickets? Don't care. So, I already put out the challenge, so I better just make it here. I'm going to go over a Google Doc that was made about some of their other behavior before we close out. And if any of Chaotix's 18 and up fans want to try to come in and defend their king, feel free to step up. So, this is called the Chaotix CSEM Doc. Now, my point of criticism is I understand why people use CSEM and CSAM. Just call it CP. Let it bite. Let it get people's attention. Disclaimer. This document is to provide exclusively for informational and accountability purposes. Under no circumstance is the document to be used to justify, encourage, facilitate, excuse, or... I don't care. Trigger warning, I mean, if you can't read this, whatever. Basic information background. We already know who these people are. Proven lies. Okay, we got that. So, let's see here. Chaotix owning CP. Chaotix, or Chaos, is a YouTube art commentary creator who focuses largely on dramas based on the art community with a few animation memes sprinkled in as well. This is shown through the most popular video, a video covering Cupidite's exposed document, I guess. Chaos is pretty well known for getting involved in or causing dramas, including the Elixir's web drama, Shister, Juni Yumi, and a lot of dramas with the user Hero Bug Thief. Chaotix originally found their fame on a now deleted YouTube channel before moving to their current one in February 2025, posting their first video in March of 2025, which, by the way, ban evasion. Malvia knew Chaotix as his former partner from approximately late 2024 to late 2025. During this time, he became aware that Chaotix had CP of their ex-boyfriends and was shown conversations and the images that were shared between them. This event happened around the middle of October 2025. Malvia, 18, witnessed sexual images on their Discord on their iPhone and was told by Chaotix, 17, themselves that they still had these images. Upon closer inspection of the server, he observed conversations between the two that mostly consist of cringy couple stuff. However, there's still a lot of conversations with underlying sexual tones. Malvia understood that the individuals in the images he saw were minors at the time of the images being taken. One of the individuals depicted has stated several times they did not want these images to be kept. Malvia did not go to the police with these images and claims due to the fact that Malvia and Chaotix were still together at this time. You should have cut them and ran. But you're young. You'll figure it out. Didn't want Chaotix to get in trouble. Though Malvia was an adult, he had only just recently turned 18 when these images were discovered. He did not have the advice and guidance of an older person to guide him in the scenario, and he now knows what he should do if this happens again, which is good. Please note that a cyber tip was submitted, but Malvia has not since heard back about that. Malvia has also reported this directly to their local PD, just to be clear, because you should do that. It's also important to emphasize that Chaotix's private photos were not the only ones present and are not the main focus. The focus is on the CP of other minors that Chaotix chose to keep past their 18th birthday, despite being warned about them by Malvia themselves. Malvia, you had a secret server with Clay and Redity. Shinobi Eyes, so there's multiple servers? Chaotix, I literally talked about this before with you. The servers were at the bottom of my server list, and I don't really look at the bottom servers. It's easy to forget about them when you don't always see them. Chaotix claims that I'm going to zoom in, actually. View. Zoom. Boop. Now you guys can see it easier. Chaotix claims that he forgot about these servers in the following screenshot, also directly stating the servers were at the bottom of his server list. However, this screenshot from a stream, the BAM document that Chaotix made, we can see the server that Chaotix and Clay shared at the top of the server list. That's right here. Their private server. But this is only one of several private servers, but implies that Chaotix would often check the server for reasons unknown. There it is again. Here is a screenshot of the invite in question with the profile pictures to match, providing this is the same server. I don't know what link to drive is. Obviously, there's no actual drive there. Making sure I'm not missing anything. Move this a little bit. Moving on to the individual known as BAM. Chaotix claims he was under the impression that BAM was 13. However, it is well known this is not true. Clay has claimed several times that he informed Chaotix of BAM's actual age being 9 years old at the time, but he was ignored. One moment. I think I can actually provide evidence for this. Let's try it here. Why is this not working the way it's supposed to? Let's try this. Come on, really?
You know.
Especially because of the BAM situation.
I mean, you were going down on some 9-year-old PP.
I had no idea. I thought he was like 13.
You had no idea my ass, dude. I literally told you when I was still. I was telling you this kid was literally a child.
Yeah, but like you have.
But you have no excuse, dude. Bro, like his voice, he sounds even younger than 10.
So yeah, they were told. Surprise, surprise. Please also note that Clay was around 15 during this call, so the tone may be a little off or aggressive given the context of the call being a discussion of Chaotix lying about him privately, or publicly rather. Yeah. Malvia was also made aware of online sexual interactions involving BAM, pictured here heavily censored for obvious reasons. Disclaimer, Chaotix was around 15 years old at the time of this message being sent, however this is clearly kept until the modern day. Fantastic. Hence why we had access to this in the first place. Link to the Google Drive image. I don't know why it's there, because there's nothing there. There's nothing to click on. Note, Chaotix has stated in his server that he never had any not safe for work art of BAM, which we know is lie shown as shown, which is right here, so that's true. Malvia, I called Chaotix out because they kept pictures of their ex's genitalia. Don't forget the BAM prawn, or porn. What? Did you not see it? There was art of BAM. I don't have porn of him. TF are you talking about? Which, obviously incorrect. Malvia's knowledge comes from finding a Discord server where both individuals were present in Chaotix's phone. He is aware of approximately 4 Discord servers connected to the situation. One being a private one, primarily used by Chaotix only, another shared with BAM, another shared with Clay, and another shared with an ex known as Redini. All of these servers contain similarly sexually explicit material. After concerns were raised, Malvia began deleting the material. After this event, Chaotix would go on record blaming Malvia in his recount of the events on Discord. You'll notice that Chaotix immediately moves to blame Malvia for not deleting all the illicit images, instead of taking responsibility for owning said illicit images. Instead of focusing and responding to the fact that he owns CP, he focuses on other things. Malvia breaching his trust, Malvia not deleting material, the news potentially being spread, which is an example of deflection. During early 2025, Mal went on my phone while I was sleeping. This is on a separate occasion, not to be confused with me and him deleting stuff together, where he found explicit photos of me in Clay's private server, which again, I had no idea about, which of course, blaming Clay for that. Because of how it's pronounced, photos of me and Clay's private server. The morning after he told me about it in OFC, I was shocked. He told me he explicitly deleted photos off the private server, which I trusted him since he was my boyfriend, so OFC I trusted his word. And to explain me and him deleting stuff together, this was on separate occasion, while we were at his house and we looked through and deleted stuff together in me and Clay's private DMs. This is also during 2025. Now, I mean, I wish that wasn't cropped there. Explained why I, over and over again for the millionth time, but since Mal told me he deleted everything, and I mean everything, I trusted him and didn't feel the need to look back at the private servers the remainder of the year. And of course, fast forward to now, some random tries joining said private server for some reason and says they saw something and documented it. I didn't believe them at first because I firmly believed Mal deleted everything like he said, but I decided to take a look, and turns out he didn't delete much. Now, I'm not trying to put a blame on Mal, because I know it was really my responsibility to delete the nudes I had of myself, but I am upset that he lied to me about it, and had given me false hopes everything was gone. However, I have deleted all the nude photos of myself, and the private server itself is now deleted. I truly understand how it was weird, but again, I truly thought it was all gone, because my ex told me. Again, not trying to put the full blame on him. Now, I literally have someone who has my explicit photos, which I'm way more worried about at the moment. I hope this is easy to understand. Again, I genuinely did not know my nudes were still there, and I really should have checked in case, instead of just blindly believing my ex deleted everything. I take responsibility for that, but the server itself is now deleted. And just to be clear, I did not intentionally keep anything. Clay's nudes, though, did you or did you not have those in the server? It's important to note that deleting this material should never have been Malvia's responsibility. True. The attempt to shirk responsibility of deleting CP onto his now ex-boyfriend is not only irresponsible and unreasonable, but also dishonest. Chaotix was the one who owned the CP, not Malvia. He shouldn't have owned CP, but he also shouldn't have blamed Malvia publicly for not deleting the porn he owned. Additionally, Chaotix claims that Malvia lied about deleting the CP without any evidence or explanation. There could have been things Malvia did not see or know about, or Chaotix could have stopped him. In any case, Malvia should not have had to be the ones to delete the CP off the devices. We get that. In around mid-October 2025, Clay was on call with Malvia, during which Clay was going through some old DMs with Chaotix. He discovered an old invite to the server that he and Chaos shared when they were about 12 to 14 years old. Clay decided to use the invite leak and see if the server still existed in modern day. Much to his shock, the invite ended up working, confirming the server was still up to this day. Clay was unable to go through the server due to Chaotix noticing he joined right away and banning him, which is interesting that they would immediately notice. Also showing Chaotix was well aware of the server's existence. In late January of 2026, Clay got into the server again on an alternate account and was able to stay for a few days. In the server, there were a lot of not safe for work art of characters from shows and movies, not safe for work art of Chaotix's Kumu species, and other characters he has made. Not safe for work art of Clay's original OC, pictures of Clay and Chaos when they were around 12 or 14. Link to the censored ones, that's this stuff. Gross. Roleplays Clay and Chaos did when they were 12-14, and some not safe for work roleplays Chaotix did with himself. I am not looking over that. No. Most importantly, it was discovered that in a channel called Not Safe for Work, Chaotix had child pornography stored in his channel. A lot of it was mainly of Chaos themselves, which is still illegal, but there was footage of Clay when he was about 13 to 14 years old. Ugh! Brother, ew! During early 2025, Mal went on my phone while I was asleep. Well, they already had this. We already saw this. I didn't. God, why'd you cut it off there? I can't read that. You were aware of this server, so don't you dare say you forgot. Mal told the server that you had nudes of a male named Red and I, which Mal also said were nudes of Clay, but of his private parts. If you had put Red and I nudes in that server, you would have been aware of Clay's nudes were in there. I also seen a screenshot where you took a picture of Clay's private area without permission, which is sexual abuse. The fact that you were about to bring this server into adulthood is disgusting. The fact that your private server was up is disgusting. If you guys had deleted CP eventually, those images were to drop down and a few seconds of scrolling. But I never saw you explain why you forgot those images, so if you could explain, thank you. But regardless, if it doesn't matter what you forgot, which I doubt, you still own CP, you only deleted CP when you got caught, and when someone called you out for finding it, you called them a creep. I hate this person. I didn't. It was only my own. When Clay was forcing me to take nudes, he would always tell me, put them in the private server. I mean, the DMs you showed didn't say that. It was only my nudes. He told me to put them in there because he wanted to look at... You always trying to make themselves the victim. The heck is wrong with this person? It's not possession of CP. Well, yes, it actually is. On your end. Yes, it actually is. You didn't even have the pictures and they were of you. Well, it's still child pornography, you idiot. And of course, people just licking their toes over all of this. Also, them saying you have CP is BS. Since you, though, were a minor, it was you, not some random kid like they were making. And you actually didn't have them. Well, you did. They admit to it. And this person calls them out. No censorship on these users because they deserve to be called out for these ridiculous claims they're making. According to the Department of Justice, self-produced child pornography refers to a creation of sexual images of minors created themselves. Under current law, CPCP, or SPCP, is covered under the same definitions as child pornography. True. This goes through some of the laws, which is fair. To claim that the images that Chaos had taken, whether of themselves or others, to not be CP is not only ridiculous, but easily disproved. So yes, Chaos was, and very possibly still is, in ownership of real CP, both of themselves and other exes of his. Anything else of Clay or anyone else was stored on the servers Chaos had that Malvia had discovered. Let it be clear that no CP was documented or shown to anyone else, as it is illegal to do so, but everything else is. Eventually, Chaos discovered the alt in the server and banned it. After Chaos banned it, Chaos would then go on to complain about an alt getting into the server on their public Discord server. Please note, Chaos claims to never check the server. However, if this was true, they wouldn't have noticed the alt account that got in there. I kept it as an archive. They kept child porn as an archive, guys. Why aren't you laughing? Of course, the blame's on everybody else. I hate this person. In these screenshots, Chaos acknowledges and admits to having CP of Clay. Chaos also claims he apologized, which he is not. Not that it actually matters. Chaos, I've seen a screenshot of you admitting you took pictures of Clay's junk without permission. Also, I have already apologized for this. Wood chipper, wood chipper, wood chipper, wood chipper, wood chipper. It doesn't make it right considering Mal confirmed the picture was kept and he had to delete it. Yes, I acknowledge that. I'm not saying it was right. And then immediately, should I stay home from school tomorrow, guys? Because I'm still very paranoid. I'm a victim. I'm a victim. People on the server ended up questioning Chaos about the private server. And Chaos did end up admitting there was CP on there, as previously seen. Let it be known that Chaotic server is advertised as 16+, and was, at one point as advertised, 13+, with rules being accessed by at least 70 people of the writing of this document. Chaotix talks repeatedly about how he is now paranoid the alt has his nudes, showing screenshots of his conversation with the alt. However, he lists the fact that the alt itself says there's none of the CP was saved. Whether he chooses to believe that or not doesn't matter. It is shifting the attention to the alt for saving and documenting CP, instead of him, where it should be, for owning CP in the first place. The focus should be exclusively on Chaos for possessing CP. Here is the conversation in full if you would like to read it for clarity. Well, looks like someone has been caught with CP, huh? You disgusting freak. I don't have CP, what? What did I find then? Find what? You know what? What's that server? I don't. A server me and Clay used to have. I kept it for archive purposes, but there's no explicit photos there. Why in the world would you keep that server? Also, there is explicit photos. I found it in Not Safe for Work. There isn't. The only fictional Not Safe for Work were shared together at the time because we were both dumb kids. Why are you even joining the server in the first place, weirdo? So there's no photos of you, blah, blah, blah. Chaos. I found it, and I also documented the server. Not the CP, of course. If that's the case, why are you even looking at that? Why do you have CP in the first place? I don't have CP, dude. Obfuscate info including details on material, and this is there and censored due to nature. True. These are examples of Chaotix deflecting instead of taking responsibility for the harm he has caused. He directs people's attention to some other party's potential misgivings, whether they're related, valid, or not, to distract people from his own. It is a manipulation tactic he often uses to avoid backlash. Here are more examples of that tactic. Sorry to confuse y'all, but what he did is still aft. Like, that crap is on his device. You also had CP and kept it. I had to delete them for you. Why are we talking about me? We're talking about how Clay still has it. I deleted all my stuff, but he didn't. Trust me, I was in the court and they explained to me what I did was bad. I'm not excusing anything. I just wanted to be understood where it stemmed from. I was also mandated to seek a professional counselor, so I'm doing that and I'm confident in my ability to improve. Sure, police don't care, but the court office and the attorney care. You have the right to be upset with me, but I just want people to take into consideration that I'm disappointed in myself, and I'm currently doing my best to work on myself going forward. Guys, be nice to Chaotix. They're disappointed in themselves. A bit ago, Chaos tried to falsely accuse Clay of owning CP in the modern day, but provided no proof to back up these claims. Chaos has since stopped trying to accuse Clay of owning CP. Chaos lies in a screenshot saying he deleted it, when it was Malvia who deleted it, as we have previously established. In this screenshot, Chaos acknowledges that he had CP, and when Malvia points out Chaos that he had CP, Chaos doesn't deny it. He gets annoyed with Malvia and questions why they're even talking about him. I hate when I bring up Clay still having CP at me. People immediately rush to say, but you had bad stuff too. Like, yeah, it was addressed and everything, has been deleted. And honestly, I don't like talking about it because it makes me uncomfy. But please, can we acknowledge that Clay has had this for longer? Chaos thinks that just because the CP he had was deleted, it makes everything okay now, and his audience is going along with it, because they're morons. Having CP to begin with is absolutely disgusting and horrible. The only reason anything was deleted was because he was caught with it. Chaos has also been caught twice now with CP and needs to be called out for this. Chaos continually downplays his actions with his young, vulnerable audience. He is unable to take active responsibility for his actions, inactions, and crimes. He constantly has to whine about his feelings, his experiences, his mental illnesses, or has to push the responsibility onto other people for not stopping him. He does not deserve his platform because of this, as he will continue to be a danger towards others if he doesn't change. He will also never get better if people continue to allow and make excuses for his behavior. We have seen, and shown, the screenshots. We have seen the excuses the audience gives him. We have seen his viewers allowing Chaotix to continue to spread libelous and slanderous claims both in real life and online about Clay. It has been incredibly disheartening to see the amount of shame, bullying, and mean-spirited comments towards Clay, Malvia, and anyone related to them, simply for speaking out against Chaotix and attempting to clear the misinformation that Chaos continues to spread. Malvia and Clay have been mocked repeatedly in Chaotix's Discord server. Clay's family, including his underage sibling, have been mocked repeatedly. Chaos at his server had made jokes about Clay sexually assaulting his sibling and his current partner, and nobody bats an eye. Bro gonna touch Hero next, I swear. Somebody needs to touch you upside your head with a shotgun. Clay to his sister, I love you, sexually. I'm not even gonna read this. These people need to die. It's an extremely dangerous and horrifying precedent to set, especially with Chaos attempts at trying to hire a hitman to get Clay killed. Chaos has openly stated he has no sympathy for Clay, and sees him being heard as justice for being slightly inappropriate during their communication when they were both in middle school. Chaos is dangerous and an unstable person who has caused fear and anxiety to Clay, his family, his partner, and his friends for far too long. Chaos has shown that they are perfectly willing to break the law in an attempt to have Clay murdered, and people excuse him for these actions because he has mental health issues. Once again, this document was not created to incite harassment of any kind, as laid out at the beginning. Our purpose with this document is to tell the story of how Chaotix owned CP and the decisions he made thereafter. It is unfortunate to see how Chaotix has turned out to be, as this could have been avoided if the people in his life had discouraged and held him accountable for his behavior, but there is nothing to be done now. All we can do now is hold him accountable and assist him to remove himself from the ACC and AMC before he harasses more people. Thank you for reading. I hate all of this. I hate literally every single bit of this. One in chat if you hate everything you just heard. Good Lord. Gross, gross. It's so gross. Ah. Ugh. It's a lot of ones. I wonder why it's a lot of ones. Look, there's not really much else we can cover here. All right, let me see here. All right, so that person's not here to defend Chaotix. I will verify them later because that's an MP3 and that's not a link. So I'm going to give about 5 minutes to see if any one of Chaotix's simps actually want to come in and actually want to have a fight, because they're pussies and I doubt they're going to show. Who's in Putopia right now? Who is this? Let me disable streamer mode so I can actually see the name. Oh, Samus. Yeah, I'm not going to mess with him. Who else is in Aces? Pavup and who Blood News is, whatever. Alright, let's see if anybody's popped in. Nope, nobody yet. So, chat, you think anybody's going to pop in? Think anybody's going to try to take a shot at the old man? I don't think they're going to show. This is amazing. This has been ridiculous. I hate everything here. Chaos has shut down sensitive generals, so no one can talk. Yeah, people are leaving their server in droves. Died for only a moment. I return with more power. I return with greater strength. Chaos isn't going to get in call with me. They're terrified of me. So their entire server. I don't actually expect any of them to show. I expect them to cope, seethe, cry, fuss, and yap behind the scene. Now, if they want to try to get a Discord assassin out on me, they're welcome to try. I'm fine with that. I could use some excitement in life. Good Lord. So, in summation, I don't believe for a second that Chaotix's claims about Clay are accurate. If they are, yeah, Clay should burn. But at the same time, well, even so, if they are, I don't even think he should burn. He was a 12-year-old, whatever. But if they're lying to me, that's another matter, right? And if Clay was the one who did the whole Discord assassin thing, the police need to handle that. I don't think it is, though. Matt Crowley for $2. I think you've fully vindicated Clay Plexer. Well, we'll find out. But hey, if Chaos wants to respond, they're welcome to take a shot at it. Heck, send your dad, too. I'd love to talk to him. Since you keep citing him as a source for how you're a victim in all this. Yeah, I think that nobody's showing that, and we've been at this for almost 3 hours now. I am old, and I have work in the morning. Lizard on Fire for $5 is also disgusting. Does anyone know if they're still in the Cookie Run fandom? I feel like a warning needs to go up because of this. I don't know if they are or not. No idea. But spread the word if you want. Link the stream. I think that I've done enough to bury Chaotix. I don't think they're coming out of this hole. If trying to hire a Discord hitman for something that didn't happen isn't enough, I don't know what would be. But I think we've had a good time on here. I'm going to send you guys to commercials, and then I am going to bed. But before that, I give you guys one more treat. Lucky M $2. I low-key see the body cam of him being detained. That would be nice. That'd be nice. But I will gift you guys something real quick before we go.
I interrupt this program for a very special announcement. Did you ever wish you were like me? A powerful ninja? Fool! You could never be like me. You are much too weak. But you could get close. How? With today's sponsor, BatheInMyMilk.com. After a hard day of slaying my pathetic enemies, there is nothing better than enjoying a luxurious soak to regain my full ninja might. As you can see here, I am enjoying such a revitalizing experience. This company, which I'm sure Cobra will soon take over, offers the following types of milk: whole, skilm, goat, oat, and even dolphin milk. Yes, ninja in training, for they are also mammals. However, if you wish to be a powerful ninja, second only to me, you must bathe in low-cow milk, as it is taken directly from their udders, specifically this week low-cow. What is that? You haven't seen me in this tub the whole time? Of course not, fool, for I am ninja. You will not see me until I allow you to, and then it will be too late. 4 out of 5 ninja agree that Bathe in My Milk's product is the path to greatness. Why not the 5th ninja, you ask? Was he slain for the dishonor of disagreeing with me? No, Gaijin! He was killed during a mission by a samurai. For no ninja would dare disagree with me. Simply go to BatheInMyMilk.com and email the site owner with an order. Use code NINJA to pay an extra 50% for your order. What, you wanted a discount code? Fool! A true ninja lives for adversity. BatheInMyMilk.com. Buy it, or my blades will be the last thing you see.
Don't miss the super androids that fly on wings of silver and fight with nerves of steel. The mighty Silverhawks.
Afternoons at 4.
Thundercats! Ho! Thunder excitement is flying at you this fall when the Thundercats tear into action.
Let's cut those mutants down to size.
Get ready to strike a blow for justice this fall with the mighty Thundercats.
Lupin! Lupin! That man is a notorious thief who works all over the world!
Let's go meet this treasure that's soon to be ours.
Don't say that I didn't warn you.
Jeez, Pops, can't get anything past you.
He'll steal your heart, and then he's coming for everything else. Lupin the Third, premiering next Saturday night at 2.
Take it off.
That'll be my pleasure.
Only Toonami on a...
Beast Wars Second! 最大の敵がついに目覚めた。ライオコンボイ変身！新司令官の登場だ。ガルバトロントランスフォーム。破壊大帝驚異の三段変形。ライオン台風。史上最大の対決に君も参加せよ。だからトランスフォーマービーストウォーズ。
If one is born a man, at least once in his life, he will dream of becoming the strongest man alive.
Are you surprised at all? This is Orochi-style karate.
That's it, baby. Come straight for me.
Your training has paid off most impressively. I'd be happy to reward you now for all the progress you've made.
He could never recall.
What an adorable little playground you have here.
Maki the Grappler.
You have accessed the secret files of the SWAT Cat. Name, automatic cement launcher. Function, launches pre-mixed fast-drying cement at the rate of 5,000 GPM, glots per minute. Very effective at freezing monsters right in their tracks. Ending transmission. You have accessed the secret files of the SWAT Cats. Name, Jake Clausen. Occupation, garage mechanic. Alias, Razor. Real job, SWAT Cat. Designs gadgets to capture bad guys. Goal, protection of Mega Cat City. Favorite expression, bingo. Ending transmission.
Meet St. Canard's Most Wanted.
8 wattage, Starkling!
There's Megavolt, criminal circuit breaker.
It's playtime!
Quacker Jack, fiendish felon. Bushroot, experiment gone haywire.
I'm really not sinister, just misunderstood.
And diabolical evildoer Mega Duck.
A rotten kind of guy!
And only one superhero can stop them.
The original, Mr. Fix-It! Get up!
Darkwing Duck.
A new Optimus Prime is here.
I'll transform Optimus! Power Master Optimus Prime, greatest leader of his time.
It's great to be back.
Now Optimus Prime is back as a Power Master. He only transforms when his Nebulon becomes his engine.
Power Master Optimus Prime. Look, Optimus is transforming into a super robot. Power Master Transformers. They've got the power to surprise.
The earth lies shattered and broken. A ruined wasteland that is now struggling to sustain life. Humanity is near the end after a devastating global meltdown. The oceans have been boiled away in nuclear fire. The land is charred and disfigured, saturated with deadly toxins. Life is a nightmarish struggle. The radiation levels have created hideous, mutated human savages. Mentally deranged, they roam in search of food and water. Gruesome violence brings terrible death to those who encounter these murderous mutants. It is an orgy of chaos, madness on a global scale. Savagery knows no limits. There are no nations, no laws, no order. In this grim reality, the forces of good and evil are once more preparing to fight for the future of mankind. Far, far away, a star shines out from the blackness of space. A beacon for the lost, a symbol of hope, an unfailing comfort to those on a journey. Known as the North Star, it has, through the ages, meant many things to many men. Under this eternal light walks the namesake of this star, a man of power and purity. A living beacon of hope, destined to bring light into the darkness. He is a feared man, spoken of in hushed tones. A legendary fighter, able to call on secret powers. Violence is met with worse violence as Ken destroys the forces of his evil half-brother. Heads roll, bodies fall, and the earth runs red as Ken draws ever nearer to Shin's stronghold in the city of the Southern Cross. The scene is set for an epic struggle between good and evil. What Shin started cannot be stopped. Many will die trying. Many will run, but there is only one Fist of the North Star.